And we are back. The Backpack Boys here once again. 3 weeks in a row. If I had some buttons, balloons would be going, confetti everywhere. It's our 3-week anniversary, y'all. Merry Christmas. You got your boy Mushi here on planet Nooptown. How y'all doing?
I'm doing great. Babyface Assassin back at it again, out here killing, but looking real good while I do it. I might be 4, but I'll still kill you. Where am I? I'm on Namek. Planet Namek. Just getting.
That explains the green. That explains the green.
Exactly. Just trying to get stronger with all the other blacks that aren't black.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
It's your boy Chef Curry here out in the Bay Area, just living it up.
Yo, you're averaging like 30 plus. You're doing like a 50, 40, 90 right now.
What can I say, man? I'm trying to get that MVP.
You also look super dark.
I'm on fire. That's why.
You're just burning. What's up, guys? It's your boy Cuddle. You know, we're out here.
Is that how you pronounce that?
Yeah, it is pronounced Cuddle. Yeah, it's pronounced Cuddle. Yeah, it's pronounced Cuddle.
I thought it might have been Kudlay, so I wasn't sure.
No, it's Cuddle.
Where does
Cuddle.
that come from?
Honestly, Kudlay sounds cooler though. Just gotta say, it has that hint of, I don't know, it just has something extra to it. You know,
don't encourage
a little lay. But no,
yeah.
I mean,
it's like Michael Bublé.
Michael Bublé.
Kudlay.
Kudlay.
Yeah, when's your Christmas album coming out?
Give us a little snippet.
To be honest, dude, I don't think we want to talk about our Christmas album. I have a request, Gabe, actually, for Mushi for my sister's Sweet 16.
You know what I love is like we say the name and then we switch it to Mushi and we're like, oh, Gabe's Mushi.
Almost immediately.
That's how it works. I forget and then we just keep going.
All right, y'all. It's the fans, the base is growing. We don't have a name for y'all yet. We'll call you Backpackers, but that's not concrete just yet. Y'all have again hit us with the fucking topics. If I say fucking again, you could slap me. Hit us with the topics, and the first one is remind me.
Ocean.
Oh, okay.
Noise from.
Oh yeah.
From, I was like, oh, okay.
Noise from Ricardo
Alessio in Italy.
Oh yes, Alessio.
Yeah,
my bad.
Ricardo's someone else.
A different one. Alessio from Italy. Thank you, Alessio from Italy. We appreciate you.
Ricardo's the one who suggested Ocean, right?
Yes, my bad.
Gotcha. He's
sorry,
out from.
Sorry, Ricky. My bad.
Ricky Ricardo. Yeah. Shout out to him. Shout out to Brazil. Shout out to the country.
And then we have Cadillac, who sent in the word zoo. So Cadillac with the word zoo.
I actually thought the word was Cadillac for a second.
Nope. It's zoo. Cadillac is a person's name. Please don't disrespect their fans.
I'm sorry. I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Cool name.
Very unique.
Well, cool name. Not really, but whatever.
Noise, y'all. Do we think noise pollution is a thing? And do we think it's a thing? Do we think it's a public health concern that is kind of being looked over? I feel it is. What do we think about noise pollution?
Well, damn, okay. I think it is a thing. We're inundated by noise all the time. Most people wake up to an alarm. They go to work. They're in their cars. The sound of the engine, the beeping of the horns. They're around people. It's just your whole life is just surrounded by noise. You come home, you turn on the TV, or like you're listening to music or like a podcast or something. It's just there's just a lot of noise, and I think it's just good to find time to just be quiet. Be in a quiet space, whether it's through meditation or prayer or, I don't know, like just doing something that's just quiet where your mind can just be at peace.
Why is that? Yeah, like why is that valuable? If like
I mean, I just think, well, at least for me personally, I just feel like it's important to, you know, be connected with yourself and to recharge. Like that all that stuff is can wear you down, mentally and emotionally. And it's just good to, find time to just, be with yourself and, you know, either reconnect with who you are or get to know yourself better if you don't know,
But you know what's
who you are
crazy?
as a
So
person.
you get away from that noise, and there's like the noise of your thoughts too, though.
That is true too. Yeah.
So
And
is it
I
trying to
was gonna
sift through that.
like yeah, what if the way that some people recharge or recuperate is by listening to music or like doing things that require noise.
Yeah, like playing an
Then that's
instrument
good for
too.
them.
Yeah, like
I'm just talking about me personally. That's how I feel the need
so? Do you
to.
think it's a personal base? You don't think it's like something we could generalize? Like, is it? I guess to each his own. Like, is too much noise not a good thing? Is it disconnecting us from? Is there benefit in silence?
I don't know. I feel like it depends on how you define like noise. Like is noise like erroneous, just like sounds that you're just hearing just because you're around people, or is it like you're choosing to listen to something? You're choosing to listen to music. Are you the one in control of the things that you're hearing, or are you're just surrounded by a bunch of nonsense? I don't know. I feel like that kind of place.
Uh, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, just like sound noise. So like for the city that I don't live in, the cars that are going on, the beeping, the constant beeping, there's constant noise around us at all times. I listen to podcasts, I listen to music 24/7. I'm constantly listening and hearing things. Uh, I don't know. I feel like maybe I lose track or the ability to control my mind the more I kind of tune out from or listen to
I,
shit.
but that kind of seems like more of like a distraction. Like I feel like that's where noise can be a fact. Like I've caught myself like if I am constantly listening to music or constantly listening to a podcast or whatever, I feel like time goes by faster, and so like I don't spend as much time thinking like just with myself internally because my mind is distracted with something else that I'm giving my attention to. So it's like I feel like that's where it could be detrimental because if you don't give yourself time to, think and think about yourself, talk to yourself, I feel like then you could potentially like lose, that connection you have, mind and body if you don't
You know
like
what I was
dedicate
thinking?
time.
I don't remember the last time. What did I do without fucking headphones in my ears? Like, what did you guys do when you didn't have fucking music playing in your ears all the time? Like, I don't know
I
what to do with myself.
I used to read a lot, like a lot. To be fair, I had no other choice. That was like my only form of entertainment. But I used to read a lot when I was younger, and I didn't have uh like a phone or like an iPod or whatever to be listening to stuff. So yeah, I used to read a lot.
Reading.
And do you think you're specifically saying like music, podcasts, those things that make noise have prevented you from doing those or continuing that? Or at least play a
No,
factor in?
no, I don't think so. I just think, I mean, because like if I wanted to read, right, but like let's say, because the beauty with just audio or sound is that now instead of me physically picking up a book and reading it, I can listen to an audiobook while I'm still doing something, right? So maybe I'm not like actually sitting down and like flipping through pages of a book. Where in that case it's like its own, it's like that's still like that can have like its own, sort of feel or nostalgia, you could say. But when it comes to, just getting content from a book, you can still, consume that through, an audio form. But I've just found myself just listening to, just experiencing, like feeding my mind in a different way. I think that's the best way to put it. So before it was through sitting down and reading books, right? Whether it was fiction or, like nonfiction biographies, whatever it may be. That's how I went about, in my spare time reading a book. Now it's like I'm either listening to music or I'm listening to a podcast, or I'm watching a TV show, or maybe I'm not even watching it, but the TV show is on, right? And I can hear it in the background just to like fill the noise, or just to have something in the background to kind of, put my mind on autopilot, if you could say. So that's why, like, for me, going back to your original question about, is it important to be with alone your thoughts? Like, I think it is, because there's a lot of stuff that's out there that distracts you. The beauty, though, is that now you can control the amount of noise that you consume, right? So before, like I was saying, like just basic examples, like, being in the city and being around all like that, so-called noise pollution. You have that. If you have that noise pollution, you can drown it out with saying, I don't want to listen to that. I want to listen to, an audiobook about improving my mind, or an audiobook about building a business, right? Or listening to a song that I really like, you know what I mean? So I just think it's like you can kind of control the noise better now. Or yeah, I think that's like probably the way I put it. You can control the noise that you intake now, as opposed to when we were, I guess, younger, or like in the 90s or whatever.
I think we'll be the first generation to like constantly have some form of headphones or earphones in our ears. And I'm curious to see if that adversely impacts our generation specifically as we get older. Will more of us have hearing issues or hearing related issues due to the fact that we constantly have things in our ears 24/7?
I could assure you I already have a ringing in my fucking ear that doesn't stop. I think I have, what is that called? 10 touch?
Yeah, that's right.
TikTok.
Yes, yeah. No, you got that.
Something like that.
That's spot on.
Constant
yeah,
ringing.
But I also think that you guys are saying like it's a great way to like, or like you should, those sometimes can distract you from having conversations with like your individual self and stuff. But I think a bigger portion of that conversation is like, it also matters the relationship that you do have like with yourself. Like whatever that voice is may not be great for everyone, and that might be the only way to turn that like off, you know what I'm saying? So I think I think that's a bigger thing to take account to. Like this escapism isn't always bad, and it's also not always good, but it's all about finding that like middle ground, that in between those two.
So you think escape is, there's always been some form of escape for people, it's just changed?
Yeah, I agree with that.
I think we have more avenues to escape. Like there are more things you can use to escape than there ever have been before, which makes it difficult to say no to the times when maybe you shouldn't be escaping. And that's where you between escape and distractions.
And when you say escape, you mean like escape like your reality, like in the moment that you're
100%. Whether it's playing video games, watching a television show, listening to a podcast, listening to music, those are all just different ways to escape. But like I said, it's all about finding a balance between escapism, and the far right of that would be distractions. And I guess the far left of it would be completely devoid and constantly living within reality, which I don't think is feasible.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, I feel like we're turning into a world that's trying to multitask, but our brain hasn't developed to do such? Like, do you think multitasking is going to be something we evolve to, like, we're eventually as humans, we're going to, like, evolve to be good at it? I feel like we're not made to multitask, right? We're made to just
has it been proven that we can't multitask? Like, it just means that like yes, maybe we're doing one thing and we're trying to do something else. That doesn't necessarily mean the other thing that we're doing is like, it doesn't mean we're doing it well, right? It's not like how they explained it. Right. Not when I say they, I mean scientists, by the way. I'm not just saying general they.
No, generally speaking, I think that's a thing. Like you can do something, what takes one person to do one task might take them X amount of time. A person who's doing both of those things may never actually complete said task, but would also take significantly more time to do it. Right. But I think there's different strategies that you can use to like master multitasking. I guess the bigger question is it worth it, right? Like why do you constantly have to be multitasking? Like I don't know. I think that sometimes like we get stuck up on like these things of like efficiency and like being the best versions of ourselves constantly and consistently, when in reality sometimes it's cool to just be like, yo, I'm really, really good at this one thing. And that's like, it's useful in every facet of life. Like, people who are just 3-point shooters still make NBA basketball teams. Like,
yes, sir.
That's what I'm saying. Chill, you're multifaceted. You're multifaceted.
I know. I'm just being humble. Come on.
Oh, okay. Cool,
Give him my chance to shine.
But yeah, like there are people who absolutely master one skill in their entire life, and that's like just as valuable as the Renaissance man who's good at everything versus great at one thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that comes though from like careers, like work and stuff like it? Because I feel like whenever like you're looking for a job or wherever you work, they're always looking for people who can juggle multiple things and do multiple things at the same time, right? Because so like do you think that's where it comes from? Like, like when like you go into like an interview, or even if you're just like applying for a job, it'll always say ability to multitask, right? Though obviously, what does that really mean? You don't know, but it's like they're looking for people who can do multiple things at the same time. So do you think maybe it comes from that, or
I think it comes from like,
I think
it speaks to more wanting to be have the ability to be adaptable to like what you need, what needs to be done, what the necessity of you is at that point in time.
I'm fearful to say that I think it might be a very like Western philosophy type thing, where like specifically the United States and the area specific to the United States very much so like prioritize or emphasize being good at everything versus being great at one thing. I think that can be seen in like the way that we teach education. It's like, I'm going to college to be an engineer, but you need to take a liberty arts class because we want you to be a well-rounded individual. That's not how education works in all other aspects of the world. Most of the world, you don't get to go to college and find out what you want to do. You already know exactly what you're doing when you get to college, and your entire experience is surrounded around that one thing. If it's engineering, you're only taking classes dedicated to engineering.
Right, but when you're an engineer though, like you're still gonna be put in an environment where you multitask though, aren't you?
100%, but you're now specialized, right? You're specialized as an engineer, and then there's subsets within engineering itself, but you've already specialized as an engineer. And I think that's more valuable than a dude who's an engineer but knows a little bit about like the social contract by Rousseau. Like, that's not valuable to him.
It depends. I think it's again a balance. Going back to our conversation last podcast about like Elon Musk, I think Elon Musk is a man that understands multiple facets of different industries, and that's what allows him to make the decisions and connect the dots and like recruit that talent. I think that's as important as a guy that's specifically just like really good at the engineering.
I agree. I think both of those people are necessary. Like, you can't just be the dude who's good at the one thing. You also need the guy who can put the whole thing together. Like, I definitely agree with you.
But I think what you're saying is that it's important to value both the same, because it's just as valuable to be a multitasker that's good at everything as it is to be really good at one specific thing. It's just, you're both. So
you think as a society we don't value the person that doesn't know how to multitask, or like how it's set up? You're saying is straying from that idea that we want people to.
I think that Western philosophy is very important and big on prioritizing creating individuals who are able to multitask, when I think that emphasis should be equally spread. It shouldn't just be like, you're only good at multitasking. Like, we should have conversations about people who are like, I think it should just be just as okay that there's a person who's good at one thing or great at one thing. Like, there should be equivalent emphasis on both of those within culture.
When you talk about Western society, you're just talking about the U.S.?
Yeah, and I know that's not technically Western, but yeah.
I'm asking because I feel like it's less Western. It's more like a corporate thing. That's why I keep thinking about, like, you know what I mean? So like global organizations, like working in like a corporate world that's, globalized all over the place. Like, for example, I don't know, like let's say like you worked for like a hedge fund in China. Like you're gonna have to, like multitask at something. Like you're right. Like yes, it's gonna be specialized, but like that ability to multitask is prevalent in any corporate environment, isn't it?
I guess what I'm saying is there's a dude probably at that hedge fund who is only good at global markets. There's a dude at that hedge fund who's only good at the like United States NASDAQ. There's a dude at that fund who's only good at like European things, and there's probably a bunch of dudes there who are good at all of those things and have general knowledge on all of those things. I'm saying those people are equally valuable. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. So, have any of you guys ever been in an isolation chamber?
No, but isn't that interesting though, that like the lack of noise like makes you go crazy? Like when they put prisoners in like
makes you hallucinate and shit.
In like what is it? Where were you
right Todd?
Yeah, Kudlay. Yeah, you're in the ISO, right? They put you in ISO and stuff like that because of your crazy shit.
Yeah. What?
Yeah, but like the fact that like it's like a punishment, like a form of punishment where they deprive you of human contact because being alone and just being with yourself and being with your thoughts and being in silence.
Yeah, well,
like,
they take away. Yeah, they take away your ability to like have your five senses be like active. But I'm talking maybe isolation chamber is not the best thing. I'm not talking about like a form of torture. I'm talking about like the idea of going to like an isolation like tank, like where you
sensory deprivation.
Like a sensory deprivation.
I've never done that. Have you?
I haven't done it, but I've always been intrigued like heavily by like doing it, like where you're in like a pool of water that's like filled with a shitload of salt.
And it's like completely dark, right?
Yeah, it's completely dark. It's completely soundproof. Then you basically are floating. So you.
Do you think you'd get a boner?
I couldn't tell you what I would do in there, but
I think I probably would.
What is the point of that?
It's apparently therapeutic. It's like a form of therapy because you have no sense. You basically your ability to sense things is completely removed from you.
So like you can't feel the water or something, or like
you can feel the water, but you're floating on it. So like you're not like resting on like a bed or something. You're literally like just like floating in a chamber.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's like they throw a bunch of magnesium in there and you just start floating. And
then the lights are cut off and it's soundproof, so it's like completely pitch black. And people have said they've literally had like hallucinations.
How do they clean that shit though?
That kind of sounds amazing.
Dirty, dead
I feel like I'd fall asleep in that.
A lot of people do fall asleep in it.
Yeah, I would totally just sleep like a baby in that.
Everyone says they have crazy dreams and shit like that.
Yeah, like crazy experiences. A lot of people say it opens up their brain to like think in different ways about things, but I don't know. The idea of like doing that has always been like something I wanted to try.
Is that like expensive? Like, how do we do that? I want to do that.
You could probably look it up.
Yeah, it's like hourly. Probably, I don't know, $80.
Probably like $50 an hour.
Oh, 50.
$50. I don't know.
Oh, I would totally do that.
Yeah,
that sounds
When's
sick.
your birthday?
Wow.
Your fake birthday.
maybe we all meet up one time. When our paths cross and we just go to sensory deprivation.
I would love to meet all of you guys in person.
I know, it'd be great.
I mean, come out to the Bay Area. It's nice over here.
Yeah, Namek is kind of a trip. A couple of light years away, but I'll make it happen.
Newtown. If you're going back to the conversation of having one task and stuff like that, so if we were going back to the days of the pirates or whatever, like where trades were a thing, you got the butter churners, you got the blacksmiths, you have the sewers. What would be
Mushi, you know all those things still exist, right?
I know that, but they're not as machines are doing like 80% of those.
No, they don't.
Have you seen Captain Phillips?
Machines are doing 90% of this shit right now.
Machines aren't pirates, though. That's all I'm saying.
All right, I'm trying to.
I love the idea of a. I love the idea of a pirate. I love the idea of a pirate churning butter. Why is a pirate churning butter?
Oi, ding ding boy, ding 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 ding.
That became super Korean for no reason.
Why'd you have to say that?
You guys are both getting locked up. You didn't have to say that. I only did this. I was like, if I don't add words to it, it'll be fine. Just like that.
What would you have been? I'd be a butter churner.
Why butter churner?
I don't know. Just fucking
Because he knows.
Put some
you
Young
see his
Thug in your
motion?
ears and just.
Did you see? You saw his motion. He's like, I got this, yo. I've been practicing
All
for
day.
that.
I'd be
So
nice
wait,
with it.
how long are we talking?
I just slap
Like
some butter.
like how long ago are we talking?
You know, when the butter
Pirates.
churners were around.
Think Pirates of the Caribbean. That's the scene I'm trying to paint.
Oh,
I would
Well,
definitely
I
have
mean-
I would definitely have a monkey for sure. I would have like a little pet monkey.
So
That
you
that is
do you want me to give you the real answer, or do you want me to give you like a made up one?
I want a made up
Let-
one, assuming
Okay.
we're all
Yeah,
let's-
equal
let's,
and free here. Is that where you were going with that?
Yeah, because I mean,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I know my answer.
Go ahead.
You go ahead while I think.
I'd be a snake oil salesman. I'd come to your door and I'd be like, if you drink this water for 30 cents, I'll make sure your daughter with cancer will live another day. And she'll drink it and nothing will happen, but you'll pay me the money because you're desperate.
Where's
And
that?
you're
from?
and you're also British, right?
Well,
That was
it's
a British
it's a
accent.
timepiece, right?
That was a
It's
British
a
accent.
timepiece, right? As long as if we're doing any form of timepiece, you have to be fucking British. There's no other accent. But yeah, I would definitely be a snake oil salesman. I'd make my money just conning people door to door, town to
Wow,
town.
that doesn't
Amen.
seem that
That's
doesn't
true.
seem anything like what you portray yourself to be nowadays. Babyface assassin. You
So
seem more about the
literally,
people.
his
You're more
past
about
life.
the people, about all being, together, working
Bro,
unity.
I
That's
mean,
true.
today my name is Baby-Faced Assassin, and these
I guess
these
so.
poor old women who are by themselves, I gotta assassinate them.
I
Wow.
think I'd want to be some type of like explorer.
All right,
and, like,
Chris,
be-
What happened to
be-
the trades, Mungie?
No, but
You're
not like
fucking
him
creepy.
though. Like not like
Like
him,
Christopher
more like,
Columbus?
More like
Yeah.
more like like Lewis and Clark. You know, they didn't go and
Oh,
rape
yeah,
people and stuff. You know what I mean? But I guess like
Yeah,
just
they
you just wanna-
definitely did. You think they just
You
they
just
just
wanna
had
chop the hands off
Sacagawea?
Native Americans.
You think Sacagawea was just just hanging out with them? They weren't doing anything wrong.
Sacagawea was a John Smith. All right, that's a different time.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Wasn't
you-
Sacagawea with Lewis and Clark?
Was
thought
she?
they-
Oh,
I thought-
she was.
I thought they
was,
picked
she
her up,
was.
and they
Oh,
they
yeah.
made it
And
seem
They
like
picked
she
her
was
up,
they
something.
were
didn't she
chill.
guide
They were
them everywhere?
friends.
Yeah,
They were
she
friends.
picked.
She left them.
Yeah, that's what they write in the history
100%,
books.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
they write in the history
He had
books.
a safe for sure. They were like, "You want to come, right?
Yeah,
You speak
right.
English, right?"
Nah, but
You
I'm
speak
just
the
saying,
same
I
language.
wouldn't do that. That's all I'm saying.
It doesn't matter what you say. It's part of
Nah,
the time.
you can't. You can't.
You
explore
automatically
during
have
that
to
time.
do that.
It's printed in history. You have to
Can't
do it.
explore during that time.
All right, so
Oh,
you're an
cool.
Cutting off some
explorer.
hands.
I didn't know we were going there. Then I'd
Well, I
be
mean,
the
you
fucking-
chose.
No,
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 one
no,
told
you
you to pick butter.
I'd be the
You
fucking
can't-
librarian.
no.
The fuck?
No
You
takesies
can't change.
back.
I'll be
Yeah.
the no. I'll be
You're
the
locked
fucking-
in.
Turn our
You're
butter.
locked in.
That's not a trade.
I'd like
Churn-
margarine.
Put that
please.
on your
Oh,
resume
butter.
right now. You get no.
Churn-
fucking-
Explorer?
Butter.
I'm sorry.
Ah,
Yo,
it's
I
too
want to be the
thick.
Magellan of my time.
I want it spreadable, please.
Yeah, I'll be
I
the
like
best
mine
butter.
whipped. I like mine whipped. All right. So
Salted.
My
Dude,
butter's going in
salted
your
butter.
fucking concoction that you're fucking sharing with these people, babyface assassins. So fuck y'all.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Who's
So how did we get to this? We were talking about noise, weren't we? How do we? Are we done with
job,
that?
Something noise.
But yeah, do you guys think it's important to like? Because I know, Babyface Assassin, you were talking earlier that there's some people who need to, who need escapism. Do you think it's important for people to, be in silence and be with their own thoughts, or is it like you said? Is it just like finding a balance depending on the person?
Yeah, because I think there are some people who can't do that. There are people who can't sit with their thoughts. There are people who can't sit with themselves without it being a problem. Like the voice inside their heads may not be the best person to listen to. And the only way to maybe distract and prevent those bad conversations from happening is to participate in escapism. Is it a good...
But I think the
is-
only reason the only reason that voice in their head becomes a negative thing is because of the disconnect. You know,
Nah,
like,
dude.
If you
Some
were to
people
deal
are
with
just
that,
some people are just born fucking. Their brains are just cracked from the get go, dude. Some people just. I mean, they say like mental illness, obviously can be like escalated in form, but people can be born with that kind of stuff, right? Like where you're just like the chemicals in your body are just that way.
I don't buy it. I don't buy.
You don't
buy
buy it?
You don't buy that.
I don't buy that.
So what? You don't believe in like sociopaths and psychopaths and
You think it's due to
all the
nature
paths
or
and stuff?
nurture?
Oh,
I think it's due to
I guess
nurture.
that. But in the context of like depression and stuff like that, where people, they say they're born with depression, something like that. Maybe, but
I mean, some people are. Some people are. I think some people are born with a proclivity to be like, because I know like depression is genetic. Like some people are more likely to be depressed than others. So
You know, I think the idea of the whole distraction thing that we're talking about is something that is heavily promoted in our society, and I think we've already discussed this in previous podcasts about like how the youth is like we advertise to the youth a way to distract themselves from ever actually finding out who they are when they're young or discovering who they are young through.
But why? Why
for
do we do
money?
that?
For money. It's a corporation. I mean, we give our kids phones because we want them to fit in school, and then they get attacked by these corporations
Maybe
like
they-
TikTok and
that's true.
Facebook, and then
Sure.
their YouTube. Like, I mean, how many kids do you know? I mean, we all probably have cousins. I have a sister that spends 17 hours a day looking at the dumbest videos you could imagine on YouTube, and
Surface level, sure. Let's say that money, we all can agree on that. We know that money plays a factor, but what would you think a deeper like root or causal reason it would be good to constantly distract people?
when we say people, are we still talking about like young people? Or...
Are we going conspiracy level here? Are we trying to say that the government's trying to like keep our minds occupied while they're sliding behind the fucking?
I think it's important to sometimes ask that question. I'm not like I think everyone knows I'm not the conspiracy theory dude, but I think it's important to ask the question of like why distraction is valuable. Like what would be if it's your number one commodity right now, right? Your biggest companies, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, all commodities that distract individuals from or help them escape.
I mean, it's the influence.
But it's also, if you think about it too,
it's attention. You have their attention. You're able to install beliefs. You're able to do a whole bunch of shit, bro.
And then if we go and we expand on that, you have like the idea that like the whole Chinese government and Russian government are like intergrained on our social media platforms, trying to like sway our attention.
Hey,
it's alleged, but let's just not fuck around. It's definitely happening.
No, you're right.
And I would bet my life on it that in the United States we're trying to fuck with their people and fucking
probably
them to do shit. So I think that is, I mean, that's a war on fucking just like attention, like grabbing people's attention, swaying people's opinions, putting things out there. Like, I mean, that's an insane. I mean,
what does a revolution even look like? All right, say we wake up or whatever, we realize what they're doing is whatever. What does that look like? Then what?
I think a lot of people already know, but they're kind of content with where things are.
I think, and this is, I think, is the biggest point and proof that we are all struggling is like we're all talking and recognizing the same thing in our day-to-day, and yet what are we all doing to prevent ourselves from participating in that same distraction?
We're fucking opening up fucking Twitter and fucking reading
TikTok
shit.
And all that. Yeah.
So like it's deeper than just like wake up, don't do it. Like it's so ingrained in day-to-day activities, not only just in like even to just be able to get on a fucking train in not New York City, you've got to open your phone and scan it. Like it's everything is attached to your phone, which is the largest distraction that you have. How do you survive in a current world in which we live in,
and that's
where you don't do that or participate in that?
That's crazy, because I was watching this thing where Elon Musk was talking about how like they have like that whole idea of like his company is like how
Neuralink.
They do the Neuralink, but he's saying it already exists. It's just our phone is
we're another attachment of
we're already like what's those things, cyborgs. We're already like part digital. We just, instead of having the information directly into our brain, we have to like use Google to like look up to something we know. So like the Neuralink thing would be like, hey, I want to know how many stars there are in the sky tonight. Instead of typing that in Google, you just think about it, and like that's what it will do for you. It will just use the internet to give you that knowledge immediately.
The amount I don't need to use my brain nowadays is incredible. I don't even know how to spell. I struggled to spell like a 5-letter word the other day. It was so easy.
Wait, what word was it?
I really don't know. It was embarrassing though.
I have those times too, but like I feel like
Yeah,
those are
for
just
sure.
like brain farts. Like, you know, like,
I have
you
them
know,
every
a while
day.
ago,
12 times.
I had to look up how to spell the word pieces. I couldn't remember if it was an EI or an IE. I
I'm
had to look it up.
auto-correcting like it's my job, dude. Like,
dude,
Yeah.
like there'll be times where I'm like, how do I spell chair? But I know how to spell chair.
that
but,
looks
like,
weird. The way the I's in front of the A's in front of the I don't know. And then I just keep swapping around. I was like, all right, let's go there.
So-
50-50.
So we all acknowledge, right, that this is crazy. Like the fact that your cell phone is a part of you and dictates so much of your life, and we're all also the same dudes who are like, that Neuralink shit looks super cool,
Oh no, I didn't
Fuck
say
that.
that.
Say that,
I didn't
sir?
say that at all.
bro.
Of course
But like
not.
that's
Damn.
I
like
wouldn't get that shit.
but that's the thing.
Neuralink sales
But
representative.
you already,
out here,
but that's the
dog.
thing. But that's the thing. Wait, you guys already have the Neuralink. You just don't have the chip inside your brain.
Yeah, I'm not putting anything in my brain. I want to keep it out here because
but
at least with this I
who's
can control it.
so who's stopping Neuralink from happening? Because the question isn't always can we. Sometimes the question should be should we.
The
Should
people
we?
that still
Yeah.
churn butter, the people that have like kept their trade and don't use technology to.
No, those people don't matter.
The Amish people, dude. You want to trust the
I'm saying
Mormons?
They don't matter.
that's what, because everything's going towards technology, right, and not having the human interact or whatever. So the people who are still hand making shit are probably the biggest fighters against fucking Neuralink.
No, I don't think so.
They're not. I'm sorry to say that, but they're just not.
Butter churners for fucking life, bro.
I think
The
there's
Amish.
there's recognition within us. There are things we recognize. Cell phones dictate almost 99% of your life. It's very hard to live without them. It's very hard to live without being in these interactive and online communities.
Yeah, and it's like,
But we're continuing to build further and further into these online communities.
and you're constantly
NFTs, whatever,
pulled into it.
Neuralinks, whatever it is, we're constantly increasing the world that is digital life. And we're recognizing at these points right now that this shit may not be the best. And we should take a moment to be like, should we do this next? And yet we're just keep trucking forward and forward and forward. I don't know.
Neuralink is just because remember before when Google Glass was a thing, and it was
Yeah.
like you would be able to see stuff, but like it didn't like actually work. Neuralink is just like the next evolution of that.
Yeah,
but
of course.
That
Like,
means you're
that's honestly
hoping
all
that
it is.
but you're hoping that a company fails. That's not how that
No,
works.
I'm not saying. I'm not saying because I mean I don't like if Elon Musk right now was like, all right, you guys can all buy your buy your chips with Bitcoin. I'm sure people would do it. People would line up to get their surgeries and have that shit implanted in their brains. Like I know they would. So I'm not.
But that's the thing.
I'm
It's
not hoping for it to fail. I just think that like
let's put it with the vaccine. You know how they made the vaccine basically like mandatory. They're gonna make it mandatory. Basically, they're gonna have like the whole vaccine passport. They're gonna basically force everybody to get the vaccine in order to live the life that they were living prior to the pandemic. Is it more convenient to just say, all right, fuck it, let me just get this vaccine, rather than fight against, maybe you don't want to get the vaccine, maybe you don't believe in it, but it's like, okay, well, you could do that, but then you're just not going to be able to, go travel to go see your family ever, or you're not going to be able to, go anywhere. You can't fly on a plane. You can't go into certain businesses, corporations. It's like they pigeonhole you to be like, okay, well, you can either decide to put this Neuralink in your brain, or you're no longer allowed to do these certain things that you've become so accustomed to that are so ingrained in your life anyway.
But I think that's different though, because I think that, right, because like with the vaccine, though I disagree with them trying to make people take it, right, with the vaccine, they have the pretense, not the pretense, sorry, that's wrong, the wrong word, but at least they can say, hey, millions of people have died from this global pandemic that's changed everyone's lives for the worse, and in some selective few for the better. And if we want to get back to that norm that we all had, where we could go out and interact with people freely and not wear masks and not have to worry about, you know, your loved ones getting sick just from being around you and social distancing and all that stuff, you're gonna have to get this vaccine.
I mean, sorry.
Well,
And they're gonna be people who are willing to do that with the Neuralink. At least as of now, I can't think of benefit that
They'll
you
figure out a
get
way to
from
market. They'll figure out a
having
way
the
to
Neuralink
market.
where they can force that.
I don't think
That-
it's going to
they'll-
be as blatant as that. I think
They'll figure out a way to
never-
market
to
it. They'll-
Todd's
yeah.
point,
It's never as blatant
it's
as that.
not going to be that blatant, but it will be, I think, strategic in that manner where it's like, I can't do that with all my friends because I don't have a Neuralink type shit. Like, it's just going to be ingrained in society.
No,
And
that,
then-
no,
and
that,
then
I mean,
they-
I
and
think
they-
it's
yeah.
gonna be that. I don't think it's gonna be like. I don't think it's gonna be like a mandatory
No,
or
no, no,
enforced
no.
thing.
But maybe not. Okay, but it, like the vaccine isn't forced, but it's not mandatory. But they basically say to you, if you want to be part of this like regular society, I mean, you have to do it. If you don't want to, it's fine. You could live your life freely, but you have to be able to willing to sacrifice
I
all
don't
these
think
things.
technology's ever.
And there
And
are people who are willing.
But
to
that's
sacrifice.
but that's the way in the future they could market this thing to be like, hey, put it in your kid when he's born. You know, you could the safety of your kid. We can make sure he's always safe. You know, they're always connected to their friends. You
Yeah.
can you connect. They'll
Let me.
They
I mean,
can
this
spin that
yeah.
into any way that they want to make it seem, you know, like it's not mandatory, but you know, there's so many benefits that outweigh the negatives that a majority of the people will do it.
Are you putting the Neuralink in your child?
I
I
can't
was
answer
gonna
that question today.
I'm not.
I was gonna say the way. I mean, like you're right, right? It's not that I make it mandatory. It's that I strategically market it. Apple, specifically with Apple Watches, recognized that they had already captured your 20 to whatever age range when it came to having Apple Watch as a wearable. So the very next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be able to market it to older people. And I'm going to say it has a heart rate activity monitor, and it can check blood pressure, and it can check to see if you might have a heart murmur or if you might have high blood pressure. And I go, oh, I should really get that for my grandmother or grandpa, or I should really get it for whoever that older individual person in my life is. It's not necessarily straight up like, yo, we're going to make sure that every single person has it. It's going to be, oh, well, we now have this new feature that's specifically going to help this age range that we haven't already gotten to wear our technology. That's how they'll do it. And that's how they do
No,
it with
it's-
anything.
Innovation's crazy to me. So, like, I remember looking at AirPods and thinking, those are the dumbest fucking things I've ever fucking
bad.
seen in my entire life. Why would I want to have to charge my headphones every whatever day or something like that? And now I don't have AirPods, but
Wait, that's the reason that you didn't like them? I thought that
I
they
just
were
thought they
dumb
were
because I thought I would lose them. I thought I would lose
Yeah,
them.
me too. That
I'm
was
like,
my
I'm not gonna pay $180
I'm saying that,
for
yeah.
headphones that I'm gonna lose the second I put them in my
Yeah.
ear.
well, one, the price point, and then just like there were so many reasons against why that idea was even a good idea. So it makes me question: was it the marketing that it's and like just everyone's using it now that's made it something that's
power
okay to
of-
have?
The power, there's two really big marketing things that are happening right now. One of the largest things is controlling supply and demand. So nothing is more powerful with social media than FOMO. Fear of missing out will get people to do virtually anything. The idea that this is a rare commodity, it's hard to get, and I'm missing out while there's people on my timeline who have said thing is super powerful.
Super powerful. Super powerful.
So
It's
it
like-
doesn't matter if the idea is fucking stupid. It only matters
Yeah,
if
it's what
Kendall
everyone's
Jenner
doing.
is reposting it,
Have we?
and
Have
all
we?
of her followers are like, "Whoa, this
And-
must be cool."
And
because
I mean-
Apple's has mastered that. Think about like it's literally cool to have an Apple phone. If you don't have an Apple phone,
Think
you're fucking,
about
you're broke, you're whatever.
Supreme, dude.
But-
Supreme sells bricks with the name Supreme
But-
on it, and people line
and-
up down the. They literally make their business of selling useless products just because people.
it's all
wanna
about
have-
the it's
Yeah,
all
it's
about the
about the brand.
collaboration. It's
Yeah.
about the collaboration. It's
and
not.
and the brand, and people want to be able to show off. Oh, I got this collaboration that's super limited that only I own, and that's where NFTs are going. It's the same thing. NFTs don't make sense to most people because it's like, it's a fucking image on Google. Why
I mean,
the fuck
no,
am I
it's
paying
art.
so much?
Art's the same concept though. It's just
But it's
branding
not.
yourself.
The reason why people don't understand it is because it's not a physical thing. But the reason why it's still taking off is because it's the fear of missing out. It's like, oh, if I don't get in now, oh, this down the line, then I could have had this, and it's like the same thing with Bitcoin. Everyone now is looking like, oh, yeah, maybe I heard about it and it was like $5, but I didn't buy into it.
The two most important parts of all of those scenarios is supply and demand, controlling said supply and demand, and encouraging fear of missing out.
Yeah.
Those two things, I mean, you can see it now. Any person who has worked in fashion, whether it's Virgil Abloh, Soleil Embry, all they've done is they've taken and gone to these large fashion houses and said, we're going to do what Supreme does, but we're going to do it with the Louis Vuitton symbol on it. Yeah. It's not like the game plan's different. It's the same game plan. It's just with a higher brand. Yeah. So there's a higher price point, which also limits supply and demand, which only increases the fear of missing out and the amount of people who can obtain said thing. Yeah. It's the perfect mix. And no one does it better than Apple. No one does it better than Supreme. But all of these are marketing strategies are now being employed in all aspects of life. They're doing it with cars. They're doing it with shoes. They're doing it with fashion. You can do this with everything. But,
I mean, yeah, dude, how many people ordered the Cybertruck when that shit was announced? And they're like, you'll get it in the next 12 years. At some point in the next 12 years, you'll get a truck.
You know what's crazy? It's getting easier to do that with social media because think about like community. So like you won't see Supreme in fucking, let's not say North Dakota, in the fucking middle of North Dakota. But now, if you're not wearing that shit, like you're seeing everyone wear that around the world. So now you're influencing so many other people.
And it's not about what's happening anymore in your actual physical and community.
So
it's about
cool,
what's happening
everywhere. Oh my.
It's about what's happening within your online community that you've created. So if your online community are the people who are like, yo, these new Air Jordan 1s are fire, and you're not part of that, then you're missing out. No one in North Dakota could be wearing them, but you don't spend any of your time in North Dakota. You live there, but your entire life is online, which means every single person that you see online who has those shoes and you don't have them, you feel like you're missing out. There's something called the health belief model where it talks about how people can be impacted, which is one portion of it. People can be impacted by or their behaviors or beliefs in whatever health behavior that you're trying to encourage can be impacted by people that they follow or deem as their leaders. Anyone on a social media platform that you follow are all of your leaders, and you curate it specifically to you. So you live within a silo chamber that you have created, and everything that you see is definitely encouraging you or discouraging you from doing one type of health behavior, one type of behavior, or one type of belief.
And that's why fucking 12-year-olds can become fucking millionaires on TikTok, because they have so much influence that the companies are like, okay, we're gonna give you a fucking Dunkin' Donuts drink, and we're gonna make a fuck ton of money because we're gonna put your name. That's why Travis Scott can get a fucking McDonald's meal and just blow up the fucking world. Everybody will wait in line for literally a Big Mac that they could have got the day before with a piece of bacon on it.
Travis Scott hasn't released a new song in about 4 years. The only thing that Travis Scott has been selling for the past 4 years is exclusivity. I'm Travis Scott, I make cool shit, and I collab with your favorite brands.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Everyone is doing it. Everyone is doing anyone.
And they literally target children, dude. The more and more you think about it, they literally are. And there has to be some type of like legal ramifications for that, because like, isn't it illegal to advertise to people under a certain age? Like you can't like target advertisements to like.
No, it's not. I mean, like we all grew up on Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. Like they target there's channels like there's.
I thought that YouTube got sued for a shitload of money because like the channels like that little kid that reviews toys and shit was basically his whole channel became advertisement towards like younger children, and that like broke like the guidelines for advertising to kids.
I think
there's some law about advertising.
Look how far it had to go before some form of action or regulation was put in place where you're
and it's unraveled to the point where you can't even get it back at this point. Because, dude, you like.
I mean,
kids,
that's why you're required to say ad on Instagram.
Yeah,
if
exactly.
You're
Yeah.
selling something. It's because of that, what you're referring to. But that doesn't even do anything. Like,
Yeah, and kids don't even understand that they're being advertised to, and then they just fucking.
but neither do adults, and that's the bigger thing.
Yeah, dude.
Neither do adults.
Have you ever felt advertisement has actually worked on you? Like, I know it's influential. Like, clearly people are buying it. I don't want
worked
to
on
say
you?
I'm a golden
yeah.
child.
No, it
But I
definitely
don't-
worked on you.
I don't crave it.
You have a water filtration system that you.
It
You have
wasn't
red
advertised
lights.
by the company.
You have red lights.
You bought a light that pierces your skin for a lot of money.
It's not
Because
that much
you-
money at all, actually. But okay,
The light that pierces your skin.
it's not that much money.
You said it was extremely expensive. I think the figure
I
was
mean,
around
it depends. I'm,
$500.
I'm making bread now, so compared to what I had.
Okay. I'm sorry, I didn't know how rich you were, but I'm talking. That guy directly advertised to you a product that he.
Okay,
thought-
fuck you. I'm talking about like McDonald's. Yes, I've been marketed before. But that's in something I believe in, like a fucking Mickey D sign, fucking holding a thing while he holds his child doesn't.
Yeah, but that's not your.
Wait,
Wait, but what's the
interest.
difference? It's the same
but
thing, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's not your interest.
You just don't believe in
Like the
this, so it doesn't-
main, like Louis and all that shit that catches other people, like the mainstream shit, not marketing. Like there's marketing on different levels. There's people I
Even the
believe
idea-
in and ideas I believe in that I'm gonna buy because of that. I believe in the idea, but I haven't believed in fucking Louis Vuitton or fucking Gucci or whatever the fuck.
Just-
No, I understand, but there are people who do. Like that's what I'm saying. Like you're no different from those people. They just
You
believe
bought
in
a
something
sauna.
else.
Yeah, you just
I'm
bought a
have
sauna.
you guys for the big name stuff? Have you
Well, what's the big name stuff? Like, what are we talking
Gucci,
about? Like,
Louis Vuitton, like feeling
I've
you
never
need
worn
that.
any of that stuff.
Or
I-
care to
I've
get
never,
it, right?
I've never been in,
No.
I've never been in designer clothing, but I know I got the new Xbox. I wanted the new Xbox when it came out. I got,
But let's dive into that, right? Because I think that's a good thing. What made you get the new Xbox specifically?
because I enjoyed my experience with the previous generation of playing.
FOMO.
and the games. I enjoyed the camaraderie with playing with friends and stuff
FOMO,
like that.
bro. It's FOMO. It's missing out on the online community that you've built, fostered over the years, and you don't want to lose.
Can
That's
we
what it's all
update
about.
That fucking name though. FOMO sounds like I don't know.
I mean, it's the
If you
it's
itch your butt
it's,
crack and then
exclu-
smell
it's it's exclusivity. Exclusivity sells. It always has. It's what's made any of those fashion houses very successful. It's exclusivity. It's the fact that Louis Vuitton doesn't ever have a clearance pack. That's what sells.
Yeah, dude, that's so crazy, man. That's crazy.
But I think that our number one, not number one, but one of the things that we should pay attention to is marketing. And truthfully, you are marketing. You do all the work for them. They don't even have to do the work in figuring out what you like. You tell them what you like by what you like on Instagram, by what you search in Google, by what you look up on your phone. All of that.
And imagine when we have the chips on our fucking head, dude. How much they're gonna know about us, dude. They're gonna know who we are.
You give
more
them
than we do.
all of
They
this
already know who we are,
information for free.
Yeah,
Not
they
only
already
do
know
you
who we
give
are.
them that information, they also use that information against you. I watched an entire documentary about how they recognize the Republican Party in 2016 recognized there was only one group of people in Michigan that they needed to specifically target ads to completely switch the vote from blue to red. And they sat there and they targeted they figured out their personalities through Facebook quizzes that people didn't even have to take. You didn't even have to take the Facebook personality quiz. But if someone in your friend group took the personality quiz,
Wow.
they could create a percentage and figure out your beliefs, and they could specifically target ads towards you to make you weigh
dude.
your vote.
That's
That's
insane.
insanity.
We all have an online profile that's similar to us as individuals, and we give that information for free. Every single time you very quickly click through and agree to terms and conditions, you sign away more than just the opportunity for accessibility. You sell away information that everyone who is selling you something has access to.
Damn, yo. So noise is definitely toxic. At the end of the day, all this is noise, bro. Is marketing is noise. It's fucking.
But
It
what
is.
do we do? That's for like what do we do? We just accept it. That's what
It's-
it seems.
But that's what we
Well,
do.
no.
That's what we do now. But like,
Well,
it's again acknowledging it and then trying to. It's again like everything that we say that we understand, but we don't know what the correct path to actually get to like salvation is to like fix these issues. No one's willing to fucking sacrifice to get there.
And
Well,
Well,
usually,
no. Like what Babyface just said, though, like one way that you can combat that is, I mean, that's not the whole point of VPNs, like to protect your privacy and that they don't know who you are. Like that's one way you could go about it. Like, yes,
That's like Sacagawea. I mean,
I
is
feel like
that
that's
really
another
protecting
I
you?
feel like money can sway those.
no, it is a marketing thing. But hey,
VPN
if you want your
fucking-
privacy, like you got to, because you're giving it to them for free, right? And like you're like, think about it this way: they're making a product. If you want that product, there's a price to it. It's not free in the actual sense of it. What you're giving them is your information, your personal information. So if you want to still use that thing and not give them your personal information, then you got to pay to, to keep that to
You
yourself.
gotta pay to
But-
protect what you already.
Yeah,
no,
you do.
I mean,
That's
but
insane concept.
but it like if you think about it, okay, a VPN protects me from them knowing what I'm searching, but
Yeah,
you
I mean,
still
that's just like a
listen.
little.
You listen to your music on Spotify, and that's them finding personality and building profiles for you and gaining information from based on the music you like to better sell you music.
And they
you're giving
definitely
that
fucking-
information willingly.
And
We
they
do
definitely
it.
they definitely fucking listen to you through your phone because you can fucking get ads of shit that you just talk about, and all of a
But
sudden you fucking pop that in.
but when have we told them it's not okay? At what point have we said, "Yo, my privacy, I'm not willing to give"?
You know
that
what?
up
You
for
know what's
You
crazy?
you can't fucking download the app if you say
But
no.
that's the thing. That's the thing, dude. It's like I feel like we didn't even realize what they were doing until it was too fucking late.
We still don't recognize what they're doing. We're still.
But that's my
steps
point.
behind.
Like, yeah, we're 2 steps behind, but like when everything was brand new to us, we're just like, oh fuck it, this is awesome. And we didn't even think about how valuable all that information was until that we already decided to give it all away for
The
free. So
most
like you can't
valuable
even
thing currently.
you
Yeah,
can't
have
even go
data.
back.
Dude, Facebook is responsible for causing a coup in an island country based off of like how they use their algorithm. You don't
I'm
recognize
not
how
okay.
powerful
Scary,
that is.
pretty damn cool. Scary, pretty damn
Terrifying. Amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment that you can build an entire and it's a free application that people just think they're using to fucking connect with people.
Their
But what you're
grandmas.
doing is
They're
this is
fucking
the best social experiment to ever exist. I have the ability to flip a lever at Facebook and say, let's make sure 60% of the American
That's
people
crazy, bro.
no longer want to like this.
That's
and all you have
insane.
to do is increase ads to a certain group
It's
of
getting
people
to
and
that
shit
point.
goes up. It's already at that point.
Confidence
think-
is like
already
there.
at that point.
and do you think that can also be like, do you think they use that to manipulate the way like
Absolutely.
the things that we care about, like all of
Absolutely.
a
Beliefs,
sudden
everything. Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely, bro.
like
The
but
way
I'm talking
you
about
feel-
like the activism that happens around the country,
100%.
like where there's just spikes of all of a
100%.
sudden people, like the whole thing with the Asian people, like a lot of the Asian community said these attacks have been happening for so long, all of a sudden they're getting publicized. Is that only because the lever was pulled? Let's shift focus to this now. Let's push thing
Dude,
on
how
that.
do we gain control back though? How do we create like a open source that there has to be a new internet? There has to be like an internet that goes against what's happening. It's controlled. Everything is. I was opening
But
a
then- yeah,
Vice
but
video the other day. I couldn't see it because it says this isn't allowed to be seen in your country. Word censorship is like it's disguised right now, but it's getting to the point where it's going to be so obvious. Everything's fucking controlled.
I had a conversation about 2 years ago with a person that I worked with who was from China. And we were talking about what was going on in Hong Kong with them being basically stripping away their sovereigns and becoming just part of the mainstay China. And she said to me, why do Americans think that China and America are so different? She said, I would prefer to be in China because at least the Chinese government is very open and upfront about censorship. The United States government does it just as much. They just are very secretive about it. And I looked at her and I was like, wow,
It's so true though.
It's so
actually
true.
so true.
It's so true.
Because we do censor. I mean, we just manipulate what the fuck is there for us to absorb and the information.
Well,
It's
because
just
then you
making
have people that are
mad.
prideful and willing to fight for this country rather than people who wouldn't maybe
But-
be willing to do that.
But look at that. That is that in itself, that level of activism is the distraction from the fact that we don't want you to see the fuck shit that we're doing. So what we'll do is we're gonna make this real big enemy. His name's China, and he's far out there in the
And then they
east,
fucking
and he's
use
coming for you.
patriotism. Yeah, they use
Absolutely.
patriotism.
And it funds your military industrial complex. It funds the people who end up causing riots and shit like that. And you know what we're doing? We're fighting about, yo, that's not the right thing to do, versus being like, holy shit, it's not it's not the fight between us that we should be focused on. We should be looking up and saying, holy shit, we are being distracted while they are taking more and more, stripping more of our actual individual rights.
And dude, that's crazy to think, because dude, I really don't believe that these people are fucking that even intelligent to understand what they're doing. So like the idea that like who are the real fucking people that run this country? Like who are they?
Who runs the world?
Planet Nooptown. Probably a fucking alien.
Because if you look at it, dude, they're like Joe Biden. I don't know if you guys have seen his recent speeches, but he literally forgot what he was saying in the middle of it, and I was like, "All right, dude, like at least remember what you were supposed to be talking about." That they don't even seem to.
Isn't he only 60? Why is he fucking going on 40?
Oh no, he's like
70.
75.
Yeah, he's like
Super
75.
old.
Oh.
But I feel like those people don't even understand this fucking way. Like this is new. Like this is new to us and part of our generation. These guys grew up, when there was butter churners and pirates.
Shouts out.
And
butter churner sweatshirts.
dude,
coming
like they
soon.
can't
Backpack
even.
boys.
I feel like they can't even comprehend it to the full extent. So like, who is the real person?
I think though, I think that's wrong, because I think we're kind of belittling. Like, you don't get to that position through stupidity. Like, they know what they're doing. Maybe they don't understand it to the fullest extent, but that's why they have people to understand it for them and dumb it down for them. That's why they have aides and stuff to help them do it. Like, they know what they're doing. They understand what they're doing. Like, Biden could just like let's just say he doesn't understand, right? He could just be the face, the representation of it.
But that's what they say, right?
background.
Like they say they put Biden, like the Democratic Party put Biden up because they thought he was best for Trump, but not best for to represent the party as a whole. But he's the best opposition they could put in the position to beat Trump.
But I think the bigger point to all of that is that it's not yes, Joe Biden is the dude who beat Trump, but why is he the dude who beat Trump? It's because you make the backdoor deals with the Facebooks or the TikToks and whatever, and you say, I'll make sure that I won't come after you and an antitrust and break you up, despite you guys being monopolistic as fuck.
Yeah.
I won't break you up, and I will make sure that the media and the marketing around your company and around you will be safe. You have to make the backdoor deals to get to that. You don't get to make it to president without some portion of it being selling your soul. And that is why you won't see the Joe Biden go after won't set up antitrust to break up things like Google or Facebook or Amazon. It's because I have to make the backdoor deals with those people in order to get to that level.
Because they're the people that really fucking
Because
control
They
the
just
country.
want
that
free
one.
housing. I don't get it. Why even work for president?
So hold on. So does it get to the point
FOMO.
where these companies, like, so remember when Obama bailed out the banks and stuff like that? And it was the whole thing of too big to fail. Like, are these companies just too big to fail? Like, they're too rich, they have too much power, they run everything. Mushi was saying, what can we do as people to fight back, to fight back and keep our information, to fight back and know the truth, right? Because it's almost like this whole world is built, and there's layers and layers and layers, and right, we know, we're peeling the top layers of the onion, but
It's
what's
probably
actually at the
shady, yeah.
center of it is terrifying, and we don't even know, right? Right now, we're talking, and this is stuff that maybe an average person wouldn't know, but this is just what we're talking about is still surface level stuff compared to the massive, the big picture. So how do we Like, what do we do? Like, are we just to accept it? Are we to fight back? If we fight back, how? You know what I mean? Like, how do we go about that?
I think it's so important to use history as examples for what to expect in the future, because history it repeats itself. This isn't the first time that consolidation of power has swayed aggressively to one side versus the other in United States history and in historical history. What has to happen is people have to pay more attention. You can't just read the head. It's easier now than ever to distract you from what's the real thing. Don't just pay attention to the headline. Take the time to follow up on a story. Don't just listen to an NBC or an ABC. Don't create silos where you only view one perspective. It's sometimes very important to pay attention to hear what the opposing people are saying, because they may be hearing a talking point that has some validity to it, but you never pay attention to it, because all I pay attention to is MSNBC, because Fox News is only spewing garbage. It's pay attention. Don't put yourself in a silo chamber. We understand how important perspectives are, but also we all have to be smarter in the ability to follow the money. If you follow the money, you will always find out where the truth lies, because at the end of the day, that's what dictates everything. Everything. We have to get better at that as just general audience. We all have to be better at following money, and we have to be better at making sure that we don't subject ourselves to being isolated in only what we believe is the truth, because that isn't the truth. You're never being fed the full truth, and we have to rely on other people to tell us what's going on. You need to give yourself a general audience.
Okay, but like, you do all of that, right? Like, I agree with you. Like, you do all of that. Okay, then what? Like, what is that? Like, how does that stop Facebook from doing what they're doing? How does that
if
stop
more people
Elon
follow
Musk from...
if more people are doing that, let's just say 4 of us, we are north, south, east, west. We're all the 4 different regions that make up the United States. Obviously, there's the Midwest, but flyover.
Shotty, not south.
Yeah, flyover.
Shotty, not south. Shotty, not south.
I'll be the south. Fuck it.
I'll be the west.
For this example, if all of us are following the money, we are not falling for virtue signaling. I'm not falling for that, because I'm paying attention to where the money lies. Black Lives Matter founder just bought $1 million home. You're not falling for that. If you're paying attention to the money, you understand that, okay, Amazon is doing this not necessarily because it makes them look good. I'm not paying you $15 an hour because I want to make sure that I'm the best looking company. Yeah, I want the conversation to be, we'll pay you $15 an hour, but you're not allowed to unionize, and you're going to be pissing and shitting on yourselves doing the truck routes in order to be able to keep up with our demand. The more we pay attention to the financial aspect of it, and let's just say that we were all doing it, we would all be saying, what the fuck about one thing? And we would be working collectively to be like, yeah, we got to stop this.
So
and we can have a discussion about what's the best way to do it. We could all disagree on that, and I'm cool with that. But as long as we are having a discussion about what the root cause of or the root problem is, and finding the best way to navigate and or figure out a solution to do that, let's have different ways of going about it. And that's where you can have your fucking Democrat and you can have your Republican views, like, cool. But if we're not actually even talking about the problems at hand, and we're just talking about incendiary surface level bullshit that's not going to make true significant change, then we haven't done our jobs.
So data, how can it be used for good? So say they have all of our information. How can we use that to, say, move the world in a better direction rather than just using it to sway our
people would argue
opinions
that
and
they're already
make money
doing
off
it.
us?
People would argue that they're
Yeah,
doing,
like they would argue that that's what they're doing, though we know it's for profit and for money and stuff like that. But like they would disguise that as, hey, we're doing this, for good.
Yeah, they already do that.
I'm saying, is there a way to use that data for good, and how would we do that? Because
I think
how would we use our own data for good?
I think the very first step is knowing what your online profile is. Do you know what your online profile is? Do you know who you are online? To Google, to Facebook?
Probably.
Do you know what your little breakdown of like he likes this, he doesn't like this? I have no idea what I actually am online. I don't know what my online profile is. I don't know. None of us know what our online profiles are.
Well, they probably know more than you. They probably know your favorite color depending on shit you like.
Exactly.
But I'm saying, is that a good thing? So it's currently being used to us. It seems like in a poor manner, like they're using it to market us, change our beliefs, whatever.
Manipulate.
To manipulate, right? Is there a way of using that data, and is there a benefit to having everyone's data like that and moving it in a better direction? And how would that look?
If I have more information about myself, if I knew what my online persona portrayed, I may recognize traits within that I dislike, and I would do work in order to change that.
Interesting.
But that's interesting because let's talk about that, because Apple allows you to have your screen time, right? So you could turn on the thing and they'll tell you how many hours a week you spend on your phone, and then all of a sudden, at the end of the week you're like, oh, I spend 14 hours a day on my phone. Holy shit, I can look at myself and be like, wow, that's way too much time on my phone. I need to. So I mean, they are giving you that ability to use that data to assess if that's something that you want to do, and they even break it down by the apps that you're using. Like, oh, I'm spending so much time on Instagram, so much time on TikTok, this much time on YouTube, this much time on answering emails. And then you can look at yourself and say, okay, well, I need to cut my fucking TikTok time down.
I kind of think with that explanation, you're kind of, again, giving them... I think the self-assessment should always come within yourself. I feel like in some contexts, you're giving them power by relying on them to tell you your own self.
But that's the data you're talking about. They're already collecting that data.
Yeah, there's some things that you can't do better. You can't do certain things better than a computer.
I don't think that's true. Fucking exploration, only you can do. You know yourself better than any. They might know my fucking favorite color. They're not telling me fucking how I feel.
I don't think you understand. Yes, that's exactly what they're doing. How they're if I understand your beliefs and your behavior, I can change all of those beliefs.
Touche.
So as long as if I understood that my online persona deeply believes in solidarity and whatever, like what I like and shit like that, then I'm going to make sure I see just that shit. And if I knew that, I would say I need to make sure that my fucking timeline also includes the opposing view. That's what I'm saying. And that would help you as an individual to say, I need to get out of this little hole that I'm in and be able to understand other
different perspectives. Yeah, different perspectives.
Yeah, 100%.
If the privacy wasn't made public, or your information wasn't made public like that, or you didn't have access to it, is there any way of using everyone's information for good?
But that's the thing. You're asking if there's any way for those people that have the power now to use that information for good.
I'm saying if we had the power, we had the not specific, like we were in that position where we had everyone's data, whatever. We didn't show it to people. How would that data be used to progress the world? Can it be, or is it just
for sure, dude? If you understand the beliefs and behaviors of someone, then it's very easy on an interventional level to make the changes that you would want. But that's where
it's literally the same. But what you're saying, Hassan, is the same thing. It's just a different way of.
No, it's not manipulation. But there's there has to be some. You could build self-esteem in that manner. You could choose for people to have empowering beliefs, rather than to give into materialism and stuff like that. Basically, what we're saying is manipulation of beliefs.
But that's your freedom. But that's where you get why should everybody think the way that Gabe thinks? Why should everyone think that those things that you find important to care about are what everybody should care about? Why shouldn't that person care about
having
Supreme?
Self-confidence in yourself?
Why is that important? It's not that I don't believe. It's not that I'm saying I don't believe it.
It's not my. I don't think that's my belief.
Who are you? But who are you to tell that to someone else? Who are you to tell someone else that's how they should feel?
So do you think there's no underlying code of what's right and wrong? You think that's all, I guess, in some way just man-made?
But I think that's the ability.
It's up to each his own.
That's the hard part, there.
That's the freedom. The freedom. You want freedom, right?
Have we ever really had freedom? We keep saying this idea of freedom, but have we ever really had fucking freedom? Is that just an illusion?
But the thing is,
and we get angry when we don't have freedom when we've never actually had freedom.
But you do have freedom, but you choose to put the chains on your own wrist because you want to be using the iPhone. You want to be integrated in that fucking lifestyle.
No one forced you to buy.
No one
it.
forces you to participate, but you. It's the same thing with the vaccine. Like we said, you get pigeonholed to being, oh, I need to be part of this culture, this thing that's going on. You're putting
but freedom. How far are we taking freedom though? Maybe we're probably not as free as we'd like to be. Like
in what way though? What? Why can't you just go tomorrow, quit your job, and just start living off the land?
Sure, if that's how you define freedom.
That is what I mean. That's how I define freedom. Freedom
that is freedom.
Choose.
You can choose
like freedom of free will.
What if I just want
think that's the truest sense of freedom that we have.
Whip a baby
in terms
cat.
Of,
you could do that. Go whip a baby cat tomorrow. You can turn it into butter if you want. Churn it. There's consequences for your actions.
Yeah, exactly.
So not really though. So it's an illusion of freedom.
No, it's
right?
not. No,
because I won't be free after I do that.
Oh yeah, but you have to pay for the consequences of living in the society that you want to be a part of.
Right, so you're implementing your ideas of what is good or bad on me. So I'm not free. It's going back to your point. Who's right to dictate what's right and wrong?
You're saying freedom should have no consequences, and that's not a realistic thing. Like that's not what freedom is.
No, I think
what's freedom? Freedom isn't actually like freedom is being free to do it. So what you're saying is, you guys are happy because you feel like you're free enough to do what you want to do. But how about the person that wants to whip a baby cat? They're not free.
No, we're saying they can do that, but no. All I'm saying
they can't because they wouldn't have the same opportunities as us after that.
Yeah.
Right, because there's a consequence to
there's a consequence to every action. This is going back to your point, Todd, about who's to dictate that shit. You're implementing what you believe to be right.
Let's stop talking about or whipping a baby cat. Let's go to like murder. You think like let's say if you want to murder someone, you go kill that person. You have the freedom to do that. You're saying why should that person be held accountable? You do have the freedom to murder someone, but you're saying why should that person be held accountable for that action if we're really
looking at it? You're looking
but you're saying if we have true freedom, then you can go kill that person and there'd be nothing to happen.
Yeah. So there isn't this freedom that you speak of. Like
but there is that freedom, but you're choosing to live in the United States.
Of America. What is so
I'm just saying there isn't no but you guys are saying free. That's freedom. That would be the definition of freedom.
Yes,
so we
don't live.
So we don't live in a free nature, though, is my point. We haven't had true freedom. That's my only point.
You're right. And
I'm not saying there's anything wrong with, like, we need judgment and we need that to, like, structure society. But my point is, go ahead.
The same thing that you are saying in regards to that is then the question that gets applied to you. Let's say that we are the ones in power and we decide that these are the positive traits that we want. That makes us now the morality police, and we now decide how a society comes out.
And but isn't okay? But wouldn't you rather? So if there's always going to be some form of, since there's never been a form of freedom, and we've always been controlled, and isn't there a better form of fucking freedom? A freedom that empowers people. So then, at some point, there is a point to choose.
Do you see how that's dangerous? Do you see how that's dangerous?
So is control or power never a good thing? Having some form of leadership ever a good thing or not?
Control and powers, you can't live within a society without there being some form of rules and regulations or some form of person who consolidates said power. However, anytime there's a group of people making decisions for everyone else, it's impossible for everyone to come out happy.
And exactly, and that's the whole point of being in a democracy, Gabe, is like we put these people in the positions, we vote for them.
Let's not even use it in the American terms. Let's just use it if, like, let's say that all four of us decide that, you know what, we really, really value self-belief in an individual, and that's something that we want to portray and convey to everyone to make sure that that's something that they have.
So maybe I'm falling victim into me holding strongly onto my belief, but isn't that at what point, what makes something fit? Isn't that something that benefits everyone? Someone will always benefit from self-empowerment. There's no downfall from that.
But that's the part that you're missing. Yeah, that's the part that you're missing. For every action, whether seen or unforeseen, there are people that it also harms. And I know that's hard to believe. every single time there's been any form of belief or some form of law, there's a group of people who are saying this will absolutely benefit everyone. And then we enact said law, and 5-10 years later, we go, oh, wow, this actually doesn't help this group of people. This small percentage of people do not benefit from this
What
said
have
thing.
we actually been giving, like, confidence? Say we put a priority on providing confidence to people. Who would not benefit from having confidence?
Bro,
No, but it's not who would not benefit.
Yeah, but first off, how would you even?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Instill.
Yeah, but what you're saying, I agree with you. I think that would be beautiful, but I also know that there would be consequences to those actions.
Yeah,
I don't know what they are. I can't tell you what they would be.
Has there been something as noble as that, or as giving the power to the person as that? Like there hasn't been a moment like. Has there been a moment like that?
I'm not saying there hasn't ever been I can't speak to all moments.
So then that's a completely different. You using examples from the past that don't even relate to that.
I'm not giving you examples. I'm telling you I don't know what the poor reaction would be. I'm telling you.
But you're saying there will be a poor reaction, but there's never been. Nothing has been tried like that.
There are no decisions that you make that only affect you, ever. And just because of that,
but has there ever been something like instilling confidence, a law, a fucking
there's fucking anti-bullying things. There's fucking bullies that fucking kill themselves
part of society. You grew up like spiritually into.
So wait,
like,
okay,
so then
how? So then how? Yeah. So my point is, how are you gonna distribute? Like, what? How do you distribute this thing to a bunch of people that you want to give out if it's not being through education, or if it's not
it is through education? My point is,
okay, so you're teaching it if you're teaching it at school, anti-bullying, preach till the fucking end of time. That's a way for them to try and promote
ingrained in society. We're talking theoretical. This is as crazy as this is theoretical.
I'm with you. I'm telling you there would be consequences. Just because we don't foresee said consequences doesn't mean there would be consequences.
I might every single time moonwalk to the moon. That's the only consequence, and I'll lose oxygen because of the confidence I have. But like,
okay, so then let's say 50% of the world population does that. Was it a good thing or was it a bad thing?
Yeah, right. Like that noble concept of giving people confidence. Yes, that's good, but there are people are always going to try to take it one step further. There are always going to be people who become narcissists or egomaniacs.
So in the context of our society right now, it seems like having confidence is a good idea. But if that were the norm, you're saying that might lead to other issues.
There are no people that just do things to the level in which you think that they would do them.
Or to the level that is like required. You know what I mean?
Like you would say,
going to take it to the next level.
100%. Because what you would say is, in no shape or form, confidence would be bad, but there would be people who would then take confidence and use it as an excuse to do fuck shit, and then you'd be like, that's not what I'm talking about when I refer to confidence. But that is a direct result of your action.
Isn't confidence just confidence? Like, I'm not like the confidence can be skewed, but like if you're genuinely promoting like genuine confidence, it's not a matter of like,
I'm confident I want to murder people. There you go.
Yeah, I don't like people's intentions 9 times out of 10 are genuine and they really are trying to impact people in a positive way.
Right, but I don't think there would be this idea of murdering people, because the reason people fucking murder people is because a lack of confidence, a lack of self-esteem, or that's my opinion.
But that's how you view
it's how you perceive it.
That's how you view the world. That's not how everyone views the world.
Oh, Gabe's right. All right, communism. Communism.
Hold on. So this kind of makes me think then, right? What is the, like, are ideals important, right?
No, hold on. Let's do this. Gabe, what's your definition of confidence?
Just having belief in myself and who I am.
Todd, what's your belief? What's your definition of confidence?
Confidence is the belief in yourself. Your belief in yourself. Okay,
Akova, what is your definition of confidence?
The same thing that they just said. Like
awesome.
believing in yourself. I don't want to say being confident because that's using the same word, but yeah, believing in yourself and who you are, trusting in yourself, and not letting outside influences dictate who you are.
Awesome. How would you portray confidence? What would be your way of portraying your confidence, Gabe?
But I think that's how it's skewed. There's so there's how we're no, there's how there's genuine confidence, there's actual confidence, and there's like
Oh, now
No,
we're
no,
heading-
I'm giving you.
but there is
I'm
but there is
saying-
Hold on,
a pure
let me
form of
finish, let me
confidence.
finish.
There's
Yeah,
a pure
100%.
form of confidence that
But how would
everyone
you? How
would
would you
have.
portray? Exactly, and everyone would portray
Me
their pure
feeling-
form of confidence in a different manner, which could be good or bad for a group of people. I'm saying the way that you portray. Let's say I'm not saying that we don't all have a very genuine form of confidence.
Okay, so how would but you're not confident when it's portrayed in a poor manner, though. So like narcissism isn't a form of confidence. Actually, it's actually lack
A
of
byproduct
confidence.
of, but
No,
it could
it's
be
over-
a
it's
byproduct of,
overconfidence.
but it could be a byproduct of.
Yeah, it's like it's like too much confidence, too
But
much,
that- but
like
then,
too much.
okay, so I guess my point with the whole is like instilling.
specific level of confidence.
It's not specific level. Okay, just like self-esteem, confidence, all these things, like all those things that come together. So a narcissist who fucking is overconfident, whatever, there's still things he's lacking in his fucking soul. It's just instilling those proper dynamics so people don't have. There isn't narcissism. There isn't.
Let's take away the definition of even just narcissism. The way that people you can instill these beliefs and with the ideology that this will be the exact way and it'll create the most genuine form of confidence. It doesn't matter how much you teach it. How I perceive that information on an individual level is up to me, and it's not up to you.
But I don't
And
think it is
that's-
up to you. It's up to
kind of-
it's up to the media. It's up to people dictating what you see. It's up to what is seen
I'm
as
talking
confidence.
I'm talking in your hypothetical world. In your
That's
hypothetical
the
world,
hypothetical world. Is if we're in the power, right? We're controlling the fucking world.
The
We
media.
show you. We're shoving media down your throat, right? So what you perceive and believe isn't up to you. It's up to me.
and you
And
choose
you
self-confidence.
still think everyone would have a different view on that.
Yes.
I like that's what else.
Wait.
How's that ever not
Hold on, yeah,
existed in that
because
way?
we live in a world now where it's like that, and we think differently. So what's the like? I'm confused.
It kind of reminds me of like religion, dude, because like religion, they all like most religions preach like the same belief system. They all say that there's a model way to follow religion, but everyone interprets religion a completely different way, and it's family
From
to
the
family
same book.
from the
Yeah.
same book.
Yeah,
And that's what I'm saying. Is like it's very easy to say, yo, let's go ahead and manipulate people in a positive manner. But it's not up to us how they intake that information and outsource that in their manner. I can say that it would control 73% of the people, that it would produce a very positive outcome. That would still be really, really good.
Okay,
Anytime
so
you
is
do-
there no purity to any of this though? Is there no right?
There's no all or nothing response. There's no all or nothing.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
There's no
It's true.
purest form of human. Like, don't they say there's a pure like love is the purest form of human? How do we get closer to love?
The Dalai Lama.
I don't know, man.
But isn't that the goal? Like,
Yeah,
it ma-
100%.
so how do you even
100%.
get to that if love's you're saying can be skewed too?
I mean, you're the one you've even told me that you think that love is something that you could force, and if that's the most purest thing, and we can
The concept of
manufacture it.
the love we live in this society, like marriage and loving or just being around someone.
I'm
But
saying,
Okay,
Like,
I
if-
guess that's what love means to me. But like genuine love.
yeah, I'm telling you that I think that all of those things, genuine love, I think in my hearts of hearts is the key to many, many things. But I know that if I decided to try to instill that in everyone, there would be, even if it was a small group of people, there would be an adverse outcome
Yeah.
to it.
Genuine
Because
love.
it's
Genuine love means infinitely many things to everybody. Genuine love. The definition of how someone would define genuine love is
Okay.
completely variable.
If we were to define love by a frequency, right? So we were able to measure humans by you are generating or you have love. You are love. You're still telling me it could be skewed in that manner. Like
I'm telling you, then fine. Let's say that love is 42 whatever. You're telling me that
Hertz.
everyone in the 42 hertz, everyone's moving at that same, is oscillating at that same pace.
Yep.
That just doesn't happen anywhere. No one does anything exactly the same in any form of life.
False. Love is love. Love is love, bro. There has to be a wholeness to this. There has to be a wholeness that brings everyone together. We're all part of the same goddamn thing. We're all connected. So what's that wholeness that connects us all? Love.
Individuality.
Love. And butter churning. But you know what's crazy?
Shut up.
There's no love at the bottom of the ocean. Did you know that? I just read that off of Snapple.
A Snapple fact.
There's no love at the bottom.
Those were
of the
bullshit, by the way.
Ocean was another
absolute
topic we
bullshit.
had. That was my
I'm
No.
lead way into
I
it.
can't believe it. I don't even know if I want to talk about the ocean right now, dude. I'm fucking. My brain is melting.
Say one thing about the ocean.
I think the coolest fucking animal in the world by far
Orca.
is an orca, and
Orca.
it's not even
Not close.
close to, like, literally there's not an animal that can even compete with an orca.
Wait, why the orca?
One, I love the documentary Blackfish. Very,
I saw
very,
that.
very dope.
Good
But
documentary.
also, I think the way that I've learned about what I've learned about the orcas and how their brains operate and how they can feel emotions, and like they're like they have a bigger brain and a more complex brain than even the human brain. I just think that they probably are the smartest creatures on the planet, but the way that we as humans define intelligence is the ability to manipulate our environment. And that's just something that an orca cannot physically do by building buildings and building things and manipulating the way that we manipulate the world. And I think that that's how us humans define intelligence. And I just think that they're at like a completely different level of intelligence. Like they're like really those
Like the
aliens that we
function
talk
on
about.
42 hertz. Love.
Like those are those aliens that we talk about that are going to come down and, you know, show us a different way. I think orca whales are like legitimately that thing. They're probably the fiercest predator in the world on the planet.
They are the apex predator
They're-
of the water.
Of the water, and I'm sure that they would fuck us all up if they could walk.
So
Yes.
would you be dropped? Would you
Easily.
be dropped into a group of orcas if you had the opportunity? If
Absolutely.
I would love to in the wild.
Absolutely.
Don't put me in a captive
No, of
orca.
course you would.
but
you would
it-
do it.
They
I
have
would
a
do it.
familial unit, dude. They take care of one another. They're
Would they
like,
take care of you though? Is the question. Or are you?
I
They
mean, if
wouldn't.
I'm-
They wouldn't bother. They wouldn't bother you in a way.
I
They
thought
wouldn't
they were
eat.
violent. Don't they just kill people or no?
No.
No.
There's never been an orca whale killing a human being in wild, only in captivity. And that's because they have and I think all that is down to their fucking the
There's-
same thing that we
yeah,
do. We have
there's
mental,
intelligence.
yeah. We have
They adopt if they
So there
like,
is
if
a
family-
goal of pureness. A perfect example is a fucking orca whale. When your freedoms are stripped or whatever, you fucking turn. Then you want to kill people when you're working on a different frequency. But when you're fucking working on a communal same frequency, you just
and the
fucking-
fact
you
they
just
have
don't kill
literal
people.
languages. Like they have languages between pods. Like there's every pod of orca whale has a specific language that they speak, and like not all orcas are speaking the same language. And like I just think that they're like the most incredible animal in the world.
And Gabe, just because we don't understand what's like good and bad in the orca world doesn't mean that there aren't orcas out there doing some fuck shit.
Yeah, that's
Because they're not. Just because they don't kill humans doesn't mean there aren't orcas out there
It
doing.
hasn't been historically.
Like we
proven,
don't know
so I
about the
don't believe
orca
it.
who's raping all the people in California. 'Cause we
There
don't
isn't.
know about
There
the orca
isn't
world.
because they're on love. They're on love.
That's very true, Hassan. That one like crazy ass orca that's going around just fucking up with all the other pods. But
Just
yeah,
giving a bad name to the fucking orcas.
they literally live with their mothers. Like they literally are born. They stay by their mother's side for their entire life. They never leave its side.
Wait,
Like,
so that's
insane.
dope. Now they haven't killed a human ever in the wild.
No.
So they'd like,
Recorded that we know of.
if they
Yeah.
saw me struggling for air, would they give me CPR?
There's videos of them literally helping like save people's lives, dude. Like realizing someone's in danger. And
Don't
like,
dolphins do that too?
Yeah, dolphins do that too,
dolphins
but
are-
dolphins also are
dolphins
racist
are-
too, so
but
it's
dolphins-
kinda iffy.
They rape
Dolphin,
people.
dolphins and orca is technically a dolphin. They're
Yeah.
the same class.
They're pretty close.
Animal. But orca's just completely more like advanced.
Also, when caught in captivity, they can express emotions. Like you know, they suffer from things like depression and things like that. So there's like recognition of individual self and conscious and subconscious within
yeah, and that's
like,
that. Yeah,
that
that's something.
that huge fucking vessel. Like,
Yeah.
So you know that guy that grew up with wolves and he pretty much knows how to communicate and be one with wolves? Is that
Yeah.
like a if I were to live with whales, would I like be able to essentially become Aquaman?
I don't know.
I mean, I don't.
Probably.
You probably.
But you would
learn
only
how to-
you could only do it within a one family though, because you'd
Yeah.
have to learn that
Yeah.
one family's language. So like you wouldn't be able to communicate with all orcas. Only one pod.
And you'd have to do it underwater. Let's not forget that.
Nah, he just surfs on them and they take care of them.
I'm working on love, so I'm just fucking. I can breathe underwater.
You just gotta make sure you hit that frequency, dude. Once you're on that frequency, you can swim.
I would give anything to like just switch, like mentally switch lives with an orca for like a
Yeah,
week.
dude. Yeah, let me just be an orca for a week, dude. I've
For
always
a
said
fucking
if reincarnation's real, dude, put me back
Bring
in
me
this
back
planet as an
an
orca. dude.
Y'all have
Yeah, dude.
fun with that one.
Absolutely. That would be so fucking cool, dude.
Yeah, dude.
I
mean,
wonder
no
what
one
the
kills you, dude.
conversations are like. Like, what are we talking about? Like, yo,
Yeah,
let's-
what are they speaking of, dude?
Yeah,
what
like,
are they doing?
if I'm communicating with my family all day, like, what are we talking about? like,
yeah.
Yo, let's go to Antarctica today. No, it's too cold up there. But let's just catch this current and go down. Like, the conversation.
Sarsa! Just fucking ride away.
That's what I'm
all day.
saying.
You've seen like the videos of them like hunting like the seals where they like combine together to like create a wave to like hit the seal.
Push the
push
dude.
the
They're
seal
so
off.
smart.
Yeah.
Dude, that shit's in like, dude.
Wait, so
just
the
the fact
orca's
that-
literally the smartest fucking animal to ever exist on this planet?
Bro, I can't make that. I don't know
You
about
know
I mean,
what's
I don't know
crazy?
about that.
You know
but
what's crazy? The orcas are probably like, if you think about ants, they're probably fucking. There's probably a queen bee of whales out there, but we haven't discovered it in the sea. That's hasn't been discovered.
Maybe.
They're just fucking
Potentially.
being controlled by this grand ass something.
I'd love to be part of it, man. I
Yeah,
would
man.
love to be part of it.
I
I think
always-
that orcas probably look at us and they're like, fucking idiots.
Yeah,
The
probably.
only reason why we can't, like, I don't know, like, the reason why we may look down upon orcas is because they swim. But, like, that's stupid. Like,
Why
It's so
haven't
dumb.
we considered global warming? But like, yeah, global warming is probably the answer to this. But living
Did you just answer your
underwater,
own question?
living underwater, like making a community underwater, and the answer is global warming.
It's
but-
probably smarter to create a community on top of water. Like,
I don't know, man. I think
Why
it'd be
though?
cool to live
Like,
underwater.
we're trying to figure
no,
out
no,
Mars. We're trying
I think
to figure out Mars.
I think
and
it,
shit, bro.
I think it would be cooler to live underwater, but I'm saying practicality for survivability when global warming and like, you know, the coasts of the United States are getting sunk under the water. I think the more practical
Well-
answer is to create
even more
islands.
reason to fucking be
artificial
Yeah.
islands.
If Gabe is saying that, like, the idea of living on Mars is, like, something that we're willing to entertain, why not also entertain the idea of
I would
living underwater?
fucking live with sandy cheeks in that fucking tree dome, bro.
I think
Put me
that's
down there, dude.
that's actually a really, like, that's a good point. I don't know. I would love to do that though. I'm down.
Well, isn't the main thing though, like, so how do you think we would do it? Like, would we like be living in like a dome, or would we be like wearing like, you know, full body tanks, like, you know, body suits and like have like
No.
scuba gear and stuff? Like, how would
No,
we
you'd
do it?
you'd have to live in a dome, or else we would become part of the ecosystem, and we literally can't compete with those fucking animals. In like,
Right. So we'd
We
have to create
guns,
a dome
so
that
we'll just
can.
have like weapons that function underwater.
We'd have to-
Look at that, yo. You guys are going to a different world and immediately thinking about
Yeah.
competing with the people within it. Like, that's fucked.
I mean, if they're
That's
gonna
not what
attack
you're
us, if they're gonna fucking step up,
But-
they better be
But
able to defend.
orcas have
them.
never attacked humans. So
Okay,
why?
if they don't attack me, I'm just saying I'm carrying a fucking sidearm on my head. That's it.
That's crazy,
Well,
bro.
that's just Mushi. Let him be that way he is. I'm
Y'all-
just saying, like,
Love is
All right.
harmonious, bro. You gotta be harmonious.
Go
You
have
gotta
some of
be
that great white
love.
tea.
so
No
we'd be living in a
fucks.
dome then, like basically like Aquaman, like Atlantis, like that.
Don't
I
play
love
with
an
me. That'd
an
be amazing.
Atlantean world.
I mean, eventually, dude, wouldn't we just like evolve to have gills and shit, and just fuck
Well,
it.
if we're living in a
If
dome,
you
we won't.
slowly send your baby off.
We're
into
not
the
swimming
fucking
in water, right? We're living in a dome with air, right? There's no
Yeah.
water in it.
Imagine a dome underwater where we had swimming pools still, dude. Dude, think about that, dude.
That's actually a really funny thought. So, fucking A. No, but also aren't like the bottom of oceans like pitch black?
Yes,
Yeah.
so
that
dark.
like sensory deprivation too.
Yep.
Like,
So there'd be no light. Also,
we also don't know. We know what 5% of the species that
That's
are
what they
in
say, dude. Do we
dark
really
water.
only know? Do we really only know 5% of what's in the ocean, dude?
That's
You believe
I
that?
mean, yeah, like
We
the
might know a
deepest
little
trenches
more.
and stuff. People haven't been there.
The
can't
what?
see anything. How do you
Yeah.
explore it? Imagine
now-
turning the lights on in like dark
But,
water.
But I
and
mean,
looking
it's not
around
even
you
how
and
to even
just like,
explore it. I mean,
what
well,
the
no,
fuck?
it is that. That's the main problem of living in the ocean, right? Like, if you, because like you would want to live on something like we're human beings, we walk on land, so we'd want to live on something that some sort of platform where we can walk. So we either have to live somewhere where it's shallow but still, there's still water, or it's going to be really, really deep, like bottom of the ocean. But we're going to have issues where there's no light, so we have to figure out some sort of lighting system.
pressure.
Right. And also, we have to figure out a way for the dome never to break, because if it breaks, we're all fucked.
Yeah.
And also,
I don't
Even,
think
even,
the-
even if
and
it's
then-
just like a little crack.
I
just
think
like a
if
and then
little
you got to
crack.
think of, and then if you think about it even deeper, you have to. How are we gonna fucking feed everybody, dude? Like, just fish? Like we can't grow
Yeah, just
crops if
fish.
we're on the bottom of the ocean. We can't grow crops.
I
There's
mean,
no
who says that?
light.
Assuming we fucking built a world underwater, who the fuck knows what we're gonna be eating?
Yeah, at that point, we're gonna be eating fucking each
I'm
other.
allergic to
Water.
snapper, so I can't eat anything here.
Damn. All right, Becky. Jeez.
Bye.
Just send her off. I feel like that'll be a thing though. Like there'll just be a little
Well, I mean,
Word,
yeah,
like-
we would
like
have
if
we'd
you
have to
commit a
cut off the
crime-
population. We'd
If
have
you
to
commit a
cut them
crime,
off.
they just like send
just
you out
send you
into the
off
deep.
into the ocean.
Yeah,
It's
they
like-
just
it's like-
send you out
They
into
send
the
you
deep.
with like a little fucking little baggie to go. This
It's
should
like
last
the-
you a day. Have
It's like the
fun.
dark. It's like the Dark Knight, where when Bane took over and their punishment.
Oh, send 'em on
after
the
they got
ice?
Convicted, they just said you got to walk into the ice
Yeah.
until they fucking fell through and just fucking died. Like that's your
Damn, bro.
punishment.
I don't think light would
Oh,
be the
God.
issue though. Like if we're able to build some container under, like the light will reflect under whatever material we use there. I think as a pressure is probably going to be the biggest issue. Like how do you even get something that would?
Well, actually, if you think about it,
And
right,
also, why wouldn't it float?
are you referring to the glass or us as like people?
Well, if it floats, then we're not underwater then, though.
Yeah.
But how does it not float? Doesn't
How
anything
do
with air
submarines
inside of it
fucking
not
go
float?
down? I guess I don't
You'd
know.
have to like fucking like drill it to the bottom of the ocean. Like doesn't like if you put like a ball in the water, like a soccer ball, you hold it at the bottom of the pool, it always pops to the top.
Aren't there?
right?
I'm sure there's
Just
fucking
aware.
rocks at
Yeah,
the
but
bottom
that's
of the
what, that's
ocean.
what I'm saying though. It's like if the goal is to like be stuck down there, you'd have to find a way to engineer that where it's stuck on the stuck on the ground. Also, too, you also have to worry about ventilation too.
Fuck it, we
That's
just
going
need
to
a
be another
giant.
big problem.
We
Like,
just need
you
a
can't just
giant-
like live in like a
Wow, are we gonna
giant
have our
closed
dog's
space.
not gonna be a thing? We're just gonna have fucking pet what?
We
What-
just need
what
a
are
giant
pets gonna
cruise
be?
ship. Just a giant cruise ship. That's
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up, then it's stuck, right?
What?
That was a song.
If it's up, then it's up, then it's up.
it. I think that's a TikTok. I think I'm
When
having.
it's up, when it's up, when it's up, and then
And it's stuck. No, that's a Cardi B song. That shit's trash. Oh wow, I'm about to get fucking canceled. I said Cardi B was trash.
Cardi
Well,
B
no.
or Norca.
Orca.
What does that? What does that mean? I don't know what that means.
I'd feed Cardi B to an orca.
But it wouldn't eat it because orcas don't like humans.
I like that you
Because it
caught
has
that.
standards.
I like that you caught that. I like that you caught that.
It would spit it out, be like, no, I don't need this. It's okay.
Way to
Spit
dunk
it out,
it.
chew it, kill it accidentally, and say I don't need it. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Um.
So yeah, but okay, so we know that orcas love outside. And we also know that orcas struggle with being in captivity. How do you guys feel about zoos?
I hate them so much.
Well, I'll give an experience that I had this past summer where I went to Ecuador. And the only experience I've ever had at a zoo.
Wait,
was,
where in Ecuador did you go?
I was I was in the main capital, but the place that I went to a zoo was called
Lima?
Baños.
Could you name it? Could you just
Quito.
name where was it?
Quito.
And where else did you go in Ecuador?
I
Just
went
like
to like
name the
a,
provinces that you.
I went to a small. Oh fuck you. Oh, fuck you, dude. Fuck
Yeah,
you,
he
dude.
literally doesn't even know.
No, I'm fucking with you. Go ahead.
But I went to a place called Baños. And
Catherine. Got you.
yeah, literally that's what I thought it was. But they literally had a zoo. It looked like a favela from like Brazil, and they just had like a zoo. And on the thing that they were advertising, lions, tigers. I'm like, there's no goddamn way you have a tiger or a lion in a fucking like. It literally looked like a library. Like there's no way there's protective like ways to contain these giant animals, right? So I went in there. I'm like, all right, yeah, whatever. I'll see a fucking tiger, sure, whatever. I end up fucking face to face, dude. They're feeding. When we get to the tigers, they're about to feed them, dude. They have just piles of chicken, and there's literally a cage where I can literally stick my arm through, and just if I wanted to pet the tiger, I had my arm through it to like take a video on my phone of the tiger eating the food. Another tiger comes, and I didn't see it. And thank God the people I were with grabbed me and they were like, oh my God, dude, the tiger was coming for you. And I was like, holy shit. Oh my God.
Wait, have you seen those videos of like those like it's like on YouTube, like there's like a guy called like the Lion Whisperer or whatever, where like he would be like with like a tiger or like a lion petting it, and his back is to the tiger, and it starts like crouching and like coming slowly, and then when
he's like, "You're so cute,"
and it's like it's doing something else, and when he
love
turns back, and it's like basically trying to like hunt him.
Yeah.
And like if he doesn't turn around in time, it's just gonna like jump in. I don't know, maybe kill him. Like I don't know, but tigers are freaking crazy.
I want to return to your one point, Todd. I just want to say this one thing.
Go ahead.
So you recognized that the library was too small for tigers.
I did it for the
So
experience.
then you
Don't
decided
put your
to
hand
go
through it.
inside, and not only did you go inside, you
Put your
decided to
hand-
put your whole hand
For a
The
video.
little
Fucking
space they
cage.
had, they had even
For the-
less
I didn't know there was.
space.
Listen, I didn't know there was 2 tigers in the fucking thing.
It's not
I
a
thought it was
matter.
one
What?
tiger.
You're missing the point. You're missing the
My
point.
nigga, you knew it was too small before you got
All right.
in
Yes.
there.
Yes. True. I was probably overwhelmed with
You
how
could just
breathtaking,
move over an inch.
how breathtaking it was to be that close. It was like a white Bengal tiger. I was like, holy shit, so beautiful to be this
Homie, you
close.
could yawn and you would have been in the fucking cage.
dead. But this whole zoo, they had any animal you could think of in this fucking little ass zoo.
Yeah, maybe if we get big, we'll fucking shut down the zoo. Give it, what was it called? El Baños? Shut this shit down.
It was called Baños, but I don't know what the name. I mean, they're definitely not going to shut down the zoo because it's literally that's like their tourist attraction. Like that's the only thing they have like very few things.
I mean,
about
they
it.
won't shut it down, but the people will.
Yeah, maybe, but people love going to see tigers. So.
Not really. I guess.
But anyway, so there was a monkey exhibit, and I was like, okay, cool. Let me go to this monkey exhibit, and there was like a little crack in the.
Library's getting big.
There was a little crack. There's like a little crack in like the glass, right? And the monkey was able to like reach his fingers out, right? And I was like, of course I'm gonna touch this goddamn monkey. Of course I'm gonna fucking touch this goddamn monkey. So I put my hand.
Have
in
you
there,
not
like,
seen Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Like, why would you be doing that?
The Rise of Planet of the Apes is completely human beings' fault, but that's beside the point.
Cool. Until you get the simian flu.
So I start, being friends with this monkey, and you could literally just tell that this guy just he hasn't been pet in forever. So he starts putting his
Yo,
head
don't tell me
on.
this.
No,
Don't
yeah,
tell
I'm
me
gonna
this.
actually
Don't
get
tell
that.
me
I'll
this.
get
Don't
that.
tell me
I'll
this.
get
No,
Don't
but
tell me
for real,
Don't
this
tell
is
me
this is and no, but this is important because I think that this is what zoos really are, and maybe there are zoos that do a lot of good work to preserve
No,
animals.
never.
But if there's animals that literally get injured in the wild, and
Don't
they
care.
can't-
Let them die. Don't go to a zoo.
But
Why?
Gabe, the first person who opened a zoo was probably like, this is the only way that I can work and make conservation. And then he was like, oh shit, other people are doing
But
this.
then
and
he
they're doing it for
realized-
the wrong reason.
it turns for profit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But that's in the society we live in. I was assuming like everyone was just functioning on love, anyways.
But anyway, the monkey.
Assume there was no tainted souls, and we were all functioning on love. It would work. I love you. Yes. What happened to the monkey?
So the monkey was putting his head out there and literally just, I started scratching his head and he didn't want me to stop. And then when I finally did stop, he literally was banging on the glass, begging for me to come back. And I was like,
I don't like this. I don't like
dude,
this.
where
I
am
don't
I?
like this.
And why does, I literally got emotional while I was there. I was like, dude, this is actually so sad because I'm going to go back to the United States of America and this monkey is probably going to be here for the rest of his life, just behind this glass. And like,
They're also such like,
there was 4 people at the zoo, so it's not even like he gets a lot of like. It wasn't like a packed fucking.
Yo, he
like,
probably made
thing.
that crack just so he could fucking put his head there. That's sad.
Probably, yeah, probably, and you could see that they're intelligent. Like they were the way that he was going about like interacting with me. He could see, I could see he knew what he wanted from me, and that was like some form of like affection of like.
why do you think
Pet
like
me.
how do you think animals like understand people's intentions? Like we always say like, if my dog doesn't like you, I know that you're not a good person. How do you think they view, like how do you think they can see or visualize or interpret intentions? Do you think it's like a color to them? Like you have a different color on you when you come and you're like, oh, okay, like blue.
I think,
means
well,
whatever.
isn't it true that like dogs can be super racist? I mean, if they have like racist like owners, like I've heard it where like there's dogs that will see a certain color of person and literally just be like, nope, fuck that person. That's a real
crazy.
thing, right?
Not
I
naturally.
don't
I
know
feel
if
like if they're
Max
trained.
likes.
No, but it's not naturally, but it's like if they grow up in a household where there's a bunch of, you know, a certain belief system, they can grow up and believe that same thing.
I
feel like it's like they practice that one or something.
You think it's trained?
Like they don't just talk, and then that I don't know.
You get what I'm no, but like if you're a product of your environment, why does that not also apply to dogs?
Where does
Or
that?
other
Yeah, but where
animals.
does a dog learn? They can't understand you, at least your verbal actions,
No,
right?
it's-
But they can understand your emotions and see
Yeah.
how you react to certain things. So
Right.
if you
So
get
they had to
angry-
have the experience of them physically seeing that.
yeah, getting
occur.
angry or yeah, getting or not.
Right.
don't-
So
I mean,
it's
you
like
could
training.
view, yeah, they could see, well, no, not necessarily on purpose, though. Like, you could see my owner gets angry when this type of person comes through. Like, then I now,
yeah, that walks by the house.
I
right?
set that up as that person's not good because my owner also doesn't like him. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have to be intentionally doing it. It's your intentions, your beliefs, how you feel can be dictated or can be translated to your dog based on how he acts or she acts or they act. I think we should explore more in understanding how animals, despite us, because they pass the barrier of language. Like there's an entire ecosystem in Africa where rhinoceroses understand that we don't go over here at this certain time when the lions are over there. Like none of them communicate with one another like directly, but they all speak to one another indirectly and live harmoniously. Like we should learn those abilities. Like I think as humans, like too often we rely on language and not on like intentions and beliefs and better understanding those like non-physical.
like natural fucking feelings.
Oh,
and
so there
emotions.
is a purity to humans.
100%. But there's also a hierarchy in that purity. Just like the lions are at the top of the fucking food chain. And they dictate a lot. And that's a natural hierarchy. No one, like those rules weren't set by anyone. That's just naturally how it plays out.
And we're on top of the lions.
Cool.
Are we?
For now.
For now,
now.
until we start installing Neuralinks.
Yeah, I'm just in
into
the
the
Sahara,
lions.
like,
Whoa! That's a crazy thought, though.
If
like,
we installed
just-
a Neuralink into a fucking
yeah,
lion, dude,
and they're able to communicate, like you translate that
bro,
information.
they
to...
just tested the Neuralink on monkeys, and monkeys were playing Pong with one another. That's like how they're testing it.
that's how we're gonna talk to orcas, dude. We're gonna
Wait,
have our
what do you mean
drink
they were
one
playing
day.
Pong with that? Like in their heads?
beer
What do you
pong?
mean?
What do you mean?
They installed the Neuralink into the chip, and there were two monkeys sitting next to each other looking at a screen, no controller, no joystick, and they were
What?
playing Pong, all based off of their mind.
Wow.
And just
That's
like that,
sick.
shit is cool.
And
now
then
all of a
Okobo's-
sudden, you
Okobo's
niggas
like,
want Neuralink.
sign me up.
And now all of a
Sign
sudden,
me
niggas want
up.
Neuralink. Just
Why?
like
Why
that.
are we testing this on orcas though? If they're like,
I mean, it's
I'm sure there's
completely
rules.
Because
inhumane.
Blackfish
Yeah.
happened. That
I'm sure
documentary
there's
happened.
rules. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm sure they're like,
Damn,
no.
bro.
Yeah, but
They
whatever.
probably could create dope ass computer programs and shit. Do not give a Neuralink to a fucking orca. Fuck that shit.
Next
They'll
level.
run this world, bro.
Next level, bro. Just like that, they're coming on land and they're just walking. Suck. You're a.
We've been
2
waiting
ton
for this.
piss.
They're not even saying anything. They're just thinking things, and you're hearing it in your head. You're like, what? Holy fucking shit, dude! What?
Bro.
That's crazy, bro.
I mean, we're doing it with monkeys, and like monkeys are already kind of a scary idea.
So we could all agree we hate zoos, or do some people like zoos?
When I was a
like
kid,
I like the idea of zoos, but again, like we were talking about before, it's kind of gone too far, I guess you can say, right? Like the whole purpose of zoos is for people to be able to see animals that they would never normally see in their daily life, like to see animals from somewhere else and learn about that animal. That's the whole point of zoos. But like in Kudlay's case, that's what I'm calling you. I'm not calling you Cuddle. If you go to Banyos and you see a monkey for the first time, but that monkey's being treated poorly, right? That's like the downside. First of all, that monkey's being treated poorly, and that monkey is not being able to live in its natural habitat, which is like, right, it was taken from its own home and brought somewhere else for profit, for gain.
But there's so many examples of zoos preserving endangered species.
Yeah, exactly. There's that too. So like that's what I'm saying. Like there's
also
good and the bad.
Yeah, there's certain species that once they've like been hurt or injured, the only place they can survive is within a controlled or confined environment.
Yeah.
So conservation is a very it's a touchy subject because there is a lot of good that goes along with conservation, but it's like how you go about doing it.
Like for example, like pandas, I think they're on the endangered species list. And I know like there are a lot of zoos in Asia that have pandas, like, you know, like that have pandas, but things like pandas don't breed in captivity, and they haven't been able to have them breeding captivity for a while. Also, pandas don't have a lot of offspring. Like they don't they don't like breed normally and stuff like that. And they were able to like do like, I think like one panda had like twins like probably like a year or two ago, and it was like a big deal. That was like the first time they were able to get a panda to actually have offspring in captivity. And they're saying that if they're able to, you know, have that happen more often, they could potentially, you know, save the species, and it could go from being endangered to whatever the next level is.
Well, what's the
above that.
value of that though? Like what's the value of that?
Of
Saving a species?
keeping animals, like
Yeah, just saving a species.
well, because it messes up the ecosystem. That's the whole thing. But the whole
Does it mess it up though? Isn't there a natural order though? So isn't it?
There's a natural order.
Or is it us
There's a
killing
natural
it?
order, but it's not being messed up naturally. It's being messed up by humans. That's the problem.
yeah.
Right. So like think about it this way, right? Like you're a panda or you're an orca. You're living in the ocean. Let's just go with the panda because I know more about that. You're living with the panda. Pandas only eat bamboo. And someone comes in and just starts cutting down all your bamboo trees to make, I don't fucking know, like make hard floor wood, bamboo flooring. What are you supposed to eat? Where are you supposed to live? You can't, you die. That's not the natural order of things. That's just a human wanted to make money, so they came and fucked up your home to build.
But in a
flooring
weird
and
way,
make
while
money.
it doesn't isn't that still somewhat the natural order? If we're all part of this hierarchy, right, and humans are part of the system, you know, how we go about ending up killing other species isn't necessarily.
But we aren't part of the system.
But we
are
have
the
the
system.
choice. Yeah, it's not like we're built on instinct to go and mess up a panda's home, right? Like we can choose to not do that. We can find other ways to have flooring. We don't have to have that. But it's something that we want.
What are
It's
the
a luxury.
point? So, is there more to discover about animals? So, like, what's the fucking point of a panda? I love pandas, but what's the point? It's a panda. I guess.
Well,
like, so cool. We preserve the species, but what does a panda do? What does it do?
You're saying what's their value to
Yeah.
humans?
Like, should we be doing more with just like discovering what these animals have to offer? Like, I feel some animals just.
What do you mean?
The
Like,
fuck
to
does a panda
offer
do?
us? What does
Like for us
anything
or
do?
for nature?
For us, I guess, and nature too. Like, what does a panda?
Well, they have a role in nature.
What do they do in nature?
That I couldn't tell you. I
How
don't know
about
that much about
sloths
them.
too? What the fuck do they do?
They do shit. I know they do stuff.
It's probably like maintain like an insect population or some shit like that.
Yeah, or like the pandas like maintain, you know, like the bamboo forest and stuff like that. I don't know. I couldn't tell you all the details. But it's kind of like with invasive species, right? Like if someone brings so for example, like the like those like the killer hornets or whatever that happened last year in Washington, like those giant hornets that came from Japan, like their natural habitat isn't here, it's in Japan, I think. But like if they came here, they were decimating insect populations here, and like that's not good for the ecosystem. That's not good for the environment, right? Like bees are dying off. That's not good for the environment.
So I agree. I agree.
That means you can't have like vanilla ice cream anymore because who's gonna germinate, and pollinate the vanilla, like the vanilla plant or whatever. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so like these things, they have it. I'm sure pandas and sloths have, not uses, but
how
like
do
they
we
play their
determine
own
what's
roles.
natural now, though? Is everything our fault, or how do we determine what species are naturally supposed to just not be here anymore? Dinosaurs died for whatever reason they died. Like,
well, they say they died because of a meteor, right?
I don't really know.
You would classify that.
So you're saying all species should just be? I don't know. Like, are there species that have naturally just because they weren't able to adapt? Like, are there species like that? Like, or are all
just die off? Probably,
and that should be allowed, isn't that? Yeah. What's that dumb bird called?
What bird?
The dumb bird, the stupid bird.
The dodo bird?
Pigeons?
Yeah, no, the dodo bird. The dodo bird was unable to adapt, and there's no reason to keep dodo birds around. All right?
Wait, why was it dumb? How'd you know it was dumb?
The same thing with what isn't it like
called a dodo bird?
Oh, dodo means stupid. Oh, okay, all right.
I mean, aren't crocodiles, alligators like fucking prehistoric?
Yeah, they're prehistoric.
Yeah.
Also, I looked it up. Pandas play an important role in the forest ecosystem where they live. Seeds and plant matter collects on their fur, which is then deposited as they move throughout their habitat. They also climb trees and swim, which further help disperse those seeds. And a bunch of different monkeys and shit and pheasants live in those forests.
Everything has a role. Everything has a role. And taking out any specific piece alters the way that ecosystem operates.
So how are we dictating though that natural that dodo bird
because we're doing too much to it. Like we're overstressing the ecosystem. So like that doesn't necessarily mean that like you can't go and cut down a bamboo forest, right? Because like the forest can grow back. But if you go and you cut down too much of it, that's going to affect the population of the pandas and where they can live.
Right.
So it's like a balance. It's just kind of like the same thing with like overfishing. If you're overfishing, that means all the fish in that area are gone, and they can't because think about it, right? Like we're not the only ones who eat fish. There are also other animals in the ocean that eat fish. So if we're eating too much, the other animals that depend on that area of those fish, they're not going to have enough food to eat. They're going to die. And the fish that are there that are sustaining them and us, they're all gonna die because they're just getting torn apart for food, right? Like they can't, we're not even giving them a chance to reproduce and to replenish. That way we can, keep going on with the cycle.
So how do we? I'm just saying, like, how do we determine that natural order? The where the species that are naturally just withering away and that we should let go, or are we saving all species now?
I feel like we shouldn't be playing a role. Like now we're playing the role of God, and
that's literally you just asked.
I would just like
also I don't think it's possible for us to do that anyway.
I think we're just killing. We're not playing.
We're doing it unintentionally.
We're doing it intentionally.
We're doing it intentionally. I'm not.
We know
what I mean unintentionally is like I don't think we're like, you know what? Fuck sloths. Let's go fucking murder all the sloths by fucking doing this. I feel like
But the people who are cutting down those trees are saying 100% fuck sloths. I need to feed my family. And are they wrong? Are they wrong for saying that?
But they're not. But my point is, it's not like they have a vendetta against sloths.
No, 100%.
Right, but there are people who have vendettas against animals. So, like for example, the rhinos or the elephants, where they're killing them for their tusks, right? Like they're literally killing them. We don't care about the rest of you. We just want that piece of ivory growing out of your nose, growing out of your mouth.
Yeah,
That's all you're good for. We kill you, and that's it. So we can go sell this as medicine, ground up ivory, and it's supposed to make you feel better, like supposedly, right? So like people do that. That's why like you have these conservation areas in, you know, Africa and stuff like that, and like people are trying to fight against poachers. So like there's those are people who you could definitely say, oh, they're bad because they're going out of their way to kill animals that aren't doing anything wrong.
Why
They're
don't
just
you
living
guys-
their lives.
Did you guys know that the like the big game hunting, like in Africa, where they say like go hunt a rhino, go hunt a giraffe, pay me a bunch of money and go hunt that animal, that they make more conservation dollars and more money is made by them selling
Allowing.
licenses
Yeah.
to people. Like by allowing someone to go kill a giraffe, you're
You can
actually
save.
you're actually helping them protect giraffes in the long term.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah, I can see that.
But the
So,
real
like, but-
question is, why aren't there like crazy people on the other spectrum? Why isn't there people hunting the hunters?
There is.
Oh,
Do
They
people
should-
go
they
kill
are.
the hunters?
No, the people that are poaching, that's the whole idea. Like if you're literally instructed to kill a poacher if you see them in Africa. They literally say if you're hunting like legally and you see someone like just poaching an animal, like killing a rhinoceros just for his horn, you're like instructed to murder that person with no remorse.
That's pretty fly.
so does that answer your question, Gabe? As to
Okay,
what's the
yeah.
point?
No?
Yeah.
Oh, what's the point? Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm saying there has to be, like, throughout time, species have extinct because they weren't able to survive. Just how do we dictate that? Like, how do we decipher from it being our fault for that species going and just that species just not being strong enough to...
Well, like
Survive.
a species is gonna die based on, like the whole idea of an ecosystem. Like a species is gonna die based on whether it can sustain itself on the food that it's in its ecosystem, and if its ecosystem exists. First of all, so if we're going around and destroying the natural habitats of these animals, they're gonna go extinct, and that's our fault because we destroy their natural habitat. So the first thing you could do is just to not destroy their natural habitat. That's one thing. If
That's the
there's-
only thing. That's all we have to do.
I mean,
And
that's
then
one
the
thing,
people,
but
the
another thing too
species
is
that aren't gonna make it, and that's
Yeah.
cool. It's not our
and
job
also
to
just
protect
don't
them.
over kill just don't overkill something that you use as a resource. So like fish or deer, like venison or geese or whatever. Like geese used to be an endangered species. Now they're everywhere because they were protected to the point where now there's too many of them. And now you can actually go and buy licenses but get like a hunting license to hunt geese, but you just can't like go back and just start killing them the way the way that they used to be done. So like, you know what I mean? Like there's like ways to go about it, but it's pretty obvious. Like, are you doing something that adversely affects this animal? Yes or no? If you are, then it's your fault. Like it's really not that complicated, I feel like.
I think we should, whatever we're doing, we should take we're currently in an active role. We should be taking a passive role.
Yeah, exactly.
And
If an animal dies through natural selection with us taking a passive role, then
that's fine.
Then
Fair
it couldn't do it. So that's its own problem.
But okay, so the reason we're taking up their resources is because of what, overpopulation, and that's just
overpopulation.
So do we kill
capitalism.
ourselves at the cost of not killing them, or do we not reproduce?
I can live without bamboo floors, and I can live without an ivory staircase or whatever.
But also remember, Gabe, one day we're gonna be that species that natural selection eliminates.
We're next, bro.
I mean, we're doing it to ourselves, like, right? Like,
what will we tell our captive, our apex predator when he gets there? Will we say, "Oh, please protect our community and our environment because we play an active role in it"? Do you think they'll listen?
Like, is that what we're gonna tell the orcas?
When they take over and they get the Neuralink?
The Neuralink orcas.
Yeah,
I swear, dude, that's a good
and then
movie
they're
concept.
like, "You kept us in cages. How dare you?"
If I do this again,
That's the
I'm gonna
exact
die.
voice I picture them having too, bro. God damn. I feel no, that's gonna be like a thing. Like the Neuralink, they're just shipping it overseas. One falls out of the fucking ship, lands in an orca's fucking
Blowhole.
blowhole.
Yeah.
Fucking just can start talking and doing shit, and before you know it, the human race.
And before you know it, it's Rise of the Planet of the Orcas, basically.
So annoyed.
That's pretty.
Also,
awesome.
that movie, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, that movie was incredible. War
All three of them. All
was
three of them were
incredible.
so good.
And then,
There's a
third
new one?
Yeah. No,
The
they made it like a
trilogy.
trilogy.
That
Yeah.
trilogy was outstanding.
Amazing.
Really?
Amazing.
Outstanding.
Yeah, dude, so good. So good.
Highly
Have
recommend.
you ever seen it?
The the trilogy as in the 3 movies or the 1 movie, the trilogy?
No, the 3 movies.
The 3 movies.
Oh,
Trilogy.
okay. I think I've seen 1 or 2.
Rise
Did you
of the
like
Planet
it?
of the Apes, War of the Planet of the Apes, and
Amazing,
then what was the last
a
one?
strong word, but it was pretty cool.
Oh yeah. Oh, you have to remember, Chef Curry. Mushi doesn't like anything more than it's okay. Nothing has ever exceeded it's okay.
So
besides
maybe I'm
Lionel
on one
Messi.
extreme, but Todd's on definitely the other spectrum because he fucking loves everything. Everything's the best thing he's ever fucking had.
Who the fuck are you
It's
talking
not.
about, bitch?
Cuddle, Kublai. Every fucking time, I'm like, I've lost hope. Yeah. So I don't.
The only
trust Todd.
thing Mushi thinks is good is Messi, and that's it. That's the only thing that's ever exceeded expectations.
That's
Well,
okay.
Messi's gonna be playing in the Super League, so enjoy that.
Please do not crack that can of worms. All right, I don't want to talk about it.
Who has a quote? Who's
I think you should give us a quote because you seem to be tired. So pop,
did we talk about it all or are we not?
pop us off with a melatonin quote. Give us something.
Also,
Yes.
I heard that Sea Piracy was a good documentary. I know we were talking about the ocean and shit. We should
Sea piracy?
Sea Piracy.
Is that about like Somalian pirates?
I think that has to do with the sushi that we love to eat.
Do they
Oh, okay.
churn butter? Are these pirates churning butter at some point?
I think they're churning whales actually.
Oh god.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've never heard of whale sushi. That doesn't sound very appetizing.
Well, whale
Um,
soup is a thing, right?
Probably.
Have you-
Blubber? I think
Dude, we know how valuable Doug Dimmadome sold blubber, and he was a fucking quadrillionaire.
Who?
Doug Dimmadome.
Who is that?
Owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome? You don't know who that is?
No.
Dude, he's Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Is that from fucking Fairly
Is this
Odd
like a
Parents?
joke?
No, it's not. He's a real person, and he sold whale blubber and made obscene amounts of money.
Wait, what do you even use whale blubber for?
Yum.
Eat it,
Insulation.
gum, insulation.
Insulation? Like in what? Like in what? Your house?
Todd, can you
Your
tell me what's his name again?
For ass implants. You
Doug
can
Dimmadome,
fucking-
owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yeah,
That's
that
definitely Fairly Odd
Dude, that
Parents.
sounds so fake. Like this is not.
man. That's
Are you
Fairly
serious?
Odd Parents, my G.
No, it's not.
no, he's real.
He's real.
Wait. Hold on.
Fairly Odd
Yeah.
Parents.
All right.
He also had what's that singer dude? Shiny Teeth in Me. What's his name?
Oh, Chuck Skylark.
Yeah, Chuck Skylark has also performed at the at the Dimmadome. Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome.
Yeah.
Yeah, he performed there.
My shiny teeth that sparkle, just like the stars in space. My shiny teeth that bring beauty to my face.
Hit it now. Shiny teeth, that's where you go.
Oh, then you got the classic. Icky Vicky, you're so icky. Just the thought of being around you make me so sicky.
Okay.
Hey,
So it's
Vicky.
not real.
It
It's
is.
real. It's
We literally
100%
all
real.
know the words to the songs. It's 100% real.
What are you talking about? You never heard of Chuck Skylark? And
Chuck Skylark, he kills, bro.
Isn't that like Fairly Odd Parents?
What are
No.
you talking about, dude? Fairly
Stop
odd.
with the
That's a real person?
Bro,
Chuck Skylark, dude.
Oh my god.
someone put him on. Someone put him on, bro.
Look up
Crazy. Icky
Chuck
Vicky.
Skylark on fucking Apple Music.
Killer, bro.
Okay. All right.
I think that's where we should end it. You know, we should sing Icky Vicky or Shiny Teeth and Me.
Shiny
We
teeth
should
and
not.
Disneyland.
We should not sing with us over Zoom.
Yeah, we'll get a copyright strike. Come on, guys.
We should not sing over Zoom.
Quote man. You're the quote man. Babyface assassin.
I swear to God, I thought we were just building time because you were looking through your.
That's what I thought you were
phone.
doing too.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not
But
gonna
also,
lie.
let me speak to this, dude.
I caught on
Kobe,
to that. I was
Look-
doing that.
Let me speak to this, dude. Kobe Bryant's deal with Nike
I
expires
know.
today,
I saw that. That's crazy.
and I'm devastated.
Yeah.
Because either Nike was too greedy
Exactly.
to not make their, because I think Vanessa Bryant's main goal is to make his shoes more widely available, and I think Nike wants to keep their product exclusive. Speaking to what you were talking about, and so I think that's where the bridge of the gap. So I'm gonna end up having to get like Reebok Kobe's, and of course I love it, but it's just a super sad, day.
Yep.
For football died this weekend, and now Kobe's no more Nikes, and all the shoes that I wanted.
Yeah, but it's crazy
Skyrocket
though.
in value.
Kobe's aren't even Kobe's anymore when you do make it super accessible though. No one then really wants the Kobe if you don't have that, which is
That's
crazy.
That's not true, dude. Look
I
at
don't think that's
Jordans.
true.
No,
Look
that's
at
No,
Jordans.
it's 100% true.
It's
He's the
very
one.
true.
He himself said, "I have to wear fucking Reebok Kobe's now because we're making it more accessible." It's already got a negative connotation.
That's true. I mean, yeah, Reebok does suck though, but it's more about the brand Reebok than rather than.
Reebok still exists.
It's 100% about the marketing. If Nike was to release all of those shoes and they made it not exclusive, you wouldn't want it.
That's not true, dude. I think I'm a real fan of Kobe. I had Kobe shoes before they were like super limited.
Maybe I won't say you because you are a very genuine fan of Kobe, but I would say
I think the broader market, the resellers and
majority.
stuff would be. But I think true people, fans of Kobe would. I want, dude. When he passed away, dude, I was devastated. Dude.
they
I
just
was-
released the Proto 6 Green or Grinch shoes.
I know. I didn't win.
Stock drop.
I didn't win the. I didn't win the raffle.
Damn.
And those were my dream shoes, dude. And they're like now they jumped to like $500 a pop.
I think we
I
should
wanna-
make up our own quotes. I think that's how we're ending.
Are you serious, bro? You have the internet at your fingertips.
I just looked through fucking a page of them and they all disappointed me.
And they're probably curated to what you want.
You should have easily just looked up love quotes based on your whole thing of love and frequencies and stuff.
Love
Yeah,
is
why don't
at
you?
42.08.
Why don't you give us a true quote about how you feel about love?
Love is like aspirin. Take it, but don't leave it. What do you guys think that meant?
All right, guys, ruminate on that, and next week let us know what you think.
Let us know what you take from that quote. Love is like aspirin. Take it,
Take it, but don't leave it.
don't leave it. All right.
Oh no, we gotta get the Mr. Rogers one off. Love isn't a state of perfect caring. It's an active noun like struggle. To love someone is to strive to accept that person exactly the way he or she is right here and now.
Shout out Mr. Rogers.
Mr. Rogers. He had
That
such
was-
style too, dude.
That was a lot better. Thank you
Potential
for that.
potential pedophile, but shout out Mr. Rogers.
Chill.
Wasn't he
Sure.
actually the man? The fuck?
Because
Guys, we're trying to end on a good note here. Why are we talking
I'm
about
just saying. I
Very
mean, I
natural.
heard that.
chill.
There was some negative, whatever. Sacagawea.
Lock that dude up. How dare you talk bad about goddamn Mr. Rogers?
I can't wait till we animate and we could just animate fucking bars on whoever's locked up. It's gonna be sick, bro.
Zoom.
Jail, a red fucking thing.
Cannot talk for
And we
5
should
minutes.
mute their mic. Mute their mic.
Yeah, you're not allowed to
That's
talk for
awesome.
2 minutes.
You heard it. You heard it here. You heard it here, y'all. We're gonna have jail cells for y'all.
Kumbaya.
I love each and every one of you. Great podcast. See you next. Whenever.